KingSithis is now live streaming World of Warcraft, Debate and Ancap live.
Yo, yo.
Okay, we're
in it. We're in it to win
Yeah.
it. What's going on, guys? Sithis here. Back at it with another live stream. Hell yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh, look, they changed up the UI for live streams on whatever.
Well, let me just find on YouTube first.
I'm live streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, everywhere, bro. And all right, so I'm gonna play some World of Warcraft while we wait.
Yeah, wait for someone to show up.
All right, so I'm gonna play some World of Warcraft. Oh, that's my voice.
Yeah, wait for someone to show up. Yeah. Well, hold on. I need to edit my sound.
All right, I am almost level 60, bro. On World of Warcraft. Have you ever played World of Warcraft or?
Oh yeah, back in the day, like the old expansions, but very briefly because I'm actually a big fan of Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 2.
Well,
not
I'm playing
not the
Turtle
MMO.
WoW.
Yeah, we've talked about it. It's just I never really got around to it. MMOs just consume a lot of time.
That is very
And,
true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
So I've been kind of avoiding them. You know, like I have these friends that wanna, get me to play this and that, and it's a little lamentable, I guess, but it's just like I'm sorry, bro. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy watching sometimes. The old raid videos and shit.
See,
I
I don't
wouldn't
do
call
all that
myself
raiding
a-
stuff. I haven't done it yet. I've kind of just got into it. Now I'm just kind of like leveling up because leveling up in Classic takes for a really, really long time. And I just kind of been leveling up characters.
Yeah, they kind of had to slow it down because in the old expansions, it was like a locust. Like a new expansion would come and then people would basically complete it in a matter of a month or two, and then there would be, the game would kind of
Get boring.
dwindle. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
And so I mean, yeah, it has a certain charm, but I was like, raids used to be the thing of like rare gear, rare materials, everything, right, was in raids. And so you would like do the raid over and over again. So if it was a hard raid and you needed a lot of people, like 5 tankers up in there, and maybe like 2 flame mages or something like that, like for the DPS.
Well, in Turtle WoW, they tweaked the classes to make all of them viable. So it's pretty good. And they've added a bunch of new quests and zones. They filled up all the empty zones, basically.
Yeah, I've seen that they were adding some original kind of content. Like there's a new update they announced quite recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've been
pretty much
keeping
the whole
up
map
a
is
bit.
the whole map is now filled up all the way now. With
I'm kind of
stuff.
surprised. I'm kind of surprised Blizzard did nothing about it.
There's nothing they can do because they're hosted in somewhere in Europe where they don't care about copyright.
Is there
Just
such
based.
a place in Europe?
I
mean,
yeah. Somewhere. I don't know. Probably like in Eastern Europe.
KingSithis tired of streaming
Well,
to
see, I
zero.
live in Europe, but I'm not actually that familiar with like local regional laws.
Blizzard doesn't exist. It's a corpse being puppeteered. Well, that's the thing about class. I mean, that's the thing about companies after a while, like or development companies, right? Is eventually the people who made it aren't really the people who run it anymore, and then they slowly get replaced one at a time, and it's like kind of like a ship
Suffering from
sort of
success.
situation, you know?
Yeah, especially big companies. Usually the owners or the founders either get pushed out in like takeover maneuvers, or they would just step down from like key positions just to fucking enjoy the
Well
wealth that
said
they've
by
accrued.
Steve Jobs.
So I think it's a perfectly reasonable approach, you know. But it's kind of like Gabe Newell, you know. Gabe Newell is, you know, one of the richest people on the planet, but he has a very hands-off approach of like Steam.
Oh, Gabe.
But when it
Yeah.
comes, yeah, Gabe Newell, and you know, he's kind of like this. He's appealing to like the you know, younger generations because he says a lot of stuff that is based.
Long live our
You
master.
know, maybe
Gabet.
you could say that he's a little bit libertarian, but like at the end of the day, he's a businessman, right? He is very ruthless. So a lot of the decisions that get made in these boardrooms usually influenced by like people who have like stake in the company, like shares. But when it comes down to it, like the final decision is usually on the owner or someone who has a bigger influence in the company. Like you know, that's why people were crying because Elon basically, when he took over Tesla, he basically changed up the boardroom to basically fit all the people that he wanted to be there. And while initially he might have been very engaged in like how Tesla operated and who was hired and stuff like that, right? Nowadays he basically, you know, like people, oh, how is he a billionaire and tweets a lot? Yeah, that's because basically he puts the right people for the job in charge, and you know, that's the role of the leader. Like you put people that know what the fuck they're doing in proper roles, and you don't have to micromanage everybody. Like micromanaging is literally the number one sign that a business is failing.
Yep, that's that guy. He's like on Twitter like all day. Yeah, I wish I could be on Twitter all day.
Yeah, you don't have $100 billion.
No, I don't. I gotta make $100 million from making hopefully Ancap videos.
You should have been a politician. That's like I keep telling you that all the time.
I want money and power.
Yeah, but that's how you have to act. But you can't say that.
I know.
That's a behind closed doors talk.
You gotta act. You gotta act like you don't want it. You know. I don't want it. Like you know, what was that guy?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
It's I think it's a platitude that's been sold around, like give powers not to those who want them, but to those who actually don't want them. Like the ideal king is the one that doesn't want to be king, kind of idea. And I'm not really sure as to the origins of the idea, but like that's kind of what permeates the structure of the whole political sphere in democracies these days. Is basically the more humble, the pious man, right, is the one that's like, oh yeah, he is the, you know, like Trump, like, oh okay, he's a billionaire, like he doesn't need the salary of a president or whatever. That makes him likable.
Yeah, that is,
you know,
true. A lot
there's
of people
no
like
merit,
that. Because he paid for his own campaign, so they're like, oh, he's not being told what to do by other people or big company or big donors or whatever. Whereas whereas we're like, nobody should be rulers. No.
Well, I mean, I'm on the Hoppa's line of of reasoning where he says that there is a natural aristocratic class where, well, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, because some people are just naturally better at leading, and it's just that some people, you need a certain hierarchy to organize society behind.
It would most likely be like business owners or CEOs.
Well, yeah, or I kind of like imagine a situation of a village chief, where this is some trusted arbitrator, like some guy who we can trust to be impartial or whatever. I think those people would naturally.
How fair is your lord?
Yeah, kind of deal, yeah. Like, I mean, that happens naturally in communities. Like, there's always this most like neighbor, who people go to for,
like the
for like
parent.
advice or yeah, exactly.
The leader of the HOA,
Yeah, kinda.
the homeowner association leader. He's gonna come to an agreement. Your insurance company CEO, look to him for all disputes.
Well, I mean, I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. Like I always advise caution when people, especially specifically Ancaps. Like it's my common critique when I'm in the servers and like when I'm talking to people is like, you don't actually know like how things will turn out. It's gonna vary vastly.
We can only predict.
Well, you can make certain assumptions, yeah. But especially when arguing with people, the onus is on the one making the claim. Like we are saying, okay, this doesn't work because of so and so, right? And then you say, okay, well, we need a government or whatever entity, centralization of this kind or that kind, to make this work. So now, since you've made that claim, right, you need to substantiate, like, okay, this is why, right? And that's basically as far as it goes. Like, if people can establish like a voluntary community where everybody's like, I don't know, everybody just chooses to fucking pay taxes or something. That's where I go. Okay, well, these people are free to leave. They're voluntarily engaging in this thing, and
well,
I'm kind of fine with
in that situation, if you like 100% agree with what the state is doing, yeah. Or with that,
Yeah, basically.
but I would say I wouldn't really call it a state. I would call it a voluntary government.
Well, yeah, but it's just like let those who don't want to, let them leave. Is the main point.
Hello, Devorich. What's going on?
What up?
What are you up to? Do you want to debate at some Ancaps?
Sure, dude.
So, what do you believe in?
I'm agnostic.
Like politically?
Oh. I don't know.
We're talking
Like-
because Ancap is a political. Well, I wouldn't say it's a political ideology. I would say it's more of a philosophy. I guess.
So, what
right?
do you believe in? Philosophy?
Yeah, like
I don't know. Like Stoicism's pretty cool.
I guess like what is your? Do you have a political philosophy? Like, are you liberal? Are you Republican?
Pretty conservative.
Conservative? Gotcha.
I'm not really Republican, but I'm pretty conservative.
You have any questions about anarcho-capitalism or arguments against it?
No.
No? So you're just here to hang out?
Yeah.
Alright, no problem.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's fine. Just wondering.
I
What do
need
you like to
hamburger helper, I put taco seasoning in it, and it's like taco. I just made it right now. It's so good.
Epic. Playing World of Warcraft right now, bro. It's pretty fun. I love it.
Yeah,
Yo,
so
so
much
what?
you have, like,
So Wizard Time. What do you think about agorism? You know anything?
agorism.
Yeah.
You mean the? Yeah, can you run me through it? I'm not
It's
sure.
basically agorism is like market. Basically, is that's what it means. And the whole idea.
I think I have an idea. Yeah, please do go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like the whole idea of it is like that, like they don't consider the state to be they consider the state to be completely illegitimate. So they believe the best way to get rid of the state is to not engage in the state, not vote, or participate in the state, but to invest and expand the black market and allow that to sort of overtake the state.
Well, to some extent, I agree. It's a peaceful way of doing it, but I question the efficacy of that.
Yeah.
Efficacy, not efficiency. Like maybe it's sufficient, but is it effective? Basically what it boils down to is how good you can evade the system. And as the system grows, as it naturally does, the concentration of power, it starts with small steps. Accept this small little thing, like give away your freedom to, I don't know, own guns. People in America think it's a very big deal, but that kind of leap was already made in large parts of the world, like specifically Europe, of like I know it sounds like a bit of a tangent, but like around 2012, most of the Balkans, it was the third most armed place in the world, after the countless wars that happened there, obviously. And by 2012, the percentage of gun owners has fallen below 30%. I would have to pull up the actual statistics, but it's abysmally low, up to the point of this insane regulation. Like, even in my profession, like I have a CL1 that basically allows me to discharge a single bullet, but it's not legal for me to actually carry or own it or anything,
Yeah.
Like only on the job in an emergency situation do I get to like go to a locker that's all the way on the other side of the building, kind of deal. And it basically goes from this misconception that if you surrender all of these freedom, it's worth it for safety. And small steps get you there, small concessions in the loss of freedom. And so, as the majority of the people, like you have 50% or over 50% of people who basically outnumber you, and they're voting and they're proposing all of these things. They want the government to do more. They're the pedophiles exist, so protect children. So nobody should have privacy because we can't tell immediately, kind of deal, right? And now that's an emotional argument. Like it sounds to a layperson like, yeah, this is worth it. We want to protect children. Like you're a monster. You don't want to protect children, right? Mm-hmm. And can agorists really combat this by basically going, yeah, we're just not gonna participate? When somebody barges in your house with guns, men in the middle of the night, or swatting from your neighbor that doesn't like you, that's, people will exploit the system. So can you really effectively combat that?
I think the best way to get anarcho-capitalism is to just convince more and more people of it, and get more and more people to support the non-aggression principle. I think that we win consequentially and we win ethically. So I think we just need to convince more people and expose more people to our ideas, because I feel like there's a big thing about anarcho-capitalism is that not a lot of people even know what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, it
yeah.
started with Rothbard and a couple of friends in his study, and now you have like President of Argentina. Yeah, it's a common argument, and I love when Zulu says basically that you don't have to convince everybody. You just need a sufficient
Enough to make the difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
And while that is true, I don't feel like this. I don't really jibe with the mentality that we're just naturally gonna win out in this game of life. Where
Yeah.
because if truly naturally it was the case that the people were largely rational and not, tribalistic in a herd mentality sense, where we do value these transgressions for the sake of freedom. For the sake of security over freedom. If naturally this wasn't the case, right, then we'd see Ancapistans today. But yeah, we don't. Almost, there's very fringe cases in history. Dubrovnik, Kospaya, the Wild West. Contrary to popular belief, there's a great video by a guy called MRH Legacy.
I see that.
Yeah.
That video's good.
Fraternal Societies by Mentis Wave, and like there was a big collab about these videos. I think it was Seed of Merca as well, where they went over these examples where Capistan thrived pretty much for 100 years or so in certain cases, but there's an overwhelming pressure by the great number of people who secretly want your demise.
Yeah. That's the one thing. That I think that what we need, like I said earlier, like I just think we need to just do what we can to convince as many people as we can. And once we get that amount of people, maybe we can get a bunch of us to like move to a specific area, and then try to change it from there.
Yeah, that is a very good point. We really do need to like establish a certain place. Somebody has to do it. Somebody that has influence, money, resources. There's a lot of luck that needs to go into that. I admire the efforts of the New Hampshire project, but
not good enough.
Yeah.
There's not enough people in there. Like, I think it's kind of hard to move to one whole state, right? And then try to take over the whole state, right? And the reason why that is because a state is huge, right? Whereas, like, if you did, like, a county, maybe, or something like that, I feel like it would be better.
Well, I kind of see...
from there.
Sure, yeah, definitely. If you can, like, get other states to kind of let you secede peacefully. I don't have high hope for that. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think the main problem New Hampshire has with their efforts to secede is mostly stemming from the consequences of the Civil War. And I think, who was it? Thomas Di Lorenzo has a whole lecture series on Mises.org at their university page about Lincoln and the consequences of the Civil War. But essentially what happened was that Unionist won, and so the right of secession, right from the Articles of Confederation, just didn't matter anymore.
Yeah. They were not allowed to secede. But
Yeah.
I like Lysander Spooner's book on this, on no treason. Have you read that?
That's a very great book.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't consider that like a light mandatory kind of read, but anybody who's at least somewhat familiar with like anarcho-capitalism and like should definitely read up on the history of like one of the greatest nations on the planet.
Yeah. Definitely a good read. I had fun time listening to it, and I've been listening to Man, Economy, and State. And I'm trying to like listen to the whole book, and you know what? It's a little bit more easier for me to read now because I actually kind of understand anarcho-capitalism a lot more. So I feel like it's just a much more longer, more in-depth explanation of all of his ideas in one book, and I really like that about it so far. So
Yeah, it's his magnum opus.
yeah.
One of the very few books that really do encapsulate all of one person's thoughts very, very concisely. He really did deeply think about these things, and that's kind of like why people associate more closely to him rather than anybody else in that sphere. You know, like Hoppe is hotly debated, for instance.
Yeah. Hoppe's all right. You know, I think his books are pretty good, but I think he's a bit too conservative for my liking. I think that personally, I just like Murray Rothbard. He is just a libertarian through and through. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, Hoppe doesn't really care about common sensibilities at all, I think.
Yeah. I think just Rothbard is just much more principled than, you know, Hoppe. I think he has a lot of good work, and I think that if you listen to his books or read his books, like, you could learn a lot from him too. You know? So, I do understand why a lot of people like Hoppe.
I mean, Hoppe, in my view, is very rough around the edges, but as a theoretician and like a sociologist, right, in his background, he basically derives most of the what he would say stable equilibria, so to speak, would be that societies that form certain norms, you know, Rothbard really never.
Are you German? Can I ask you that?
No.
What are you?
I do have German heritage, but
What's your accent? What are you like?
I'm from Serbia, former Yugoslavia. So I've seen a lot of communism and socialism today. Yeah, and even leftist ideologies.
Is that in Europe?
Yeah, that's in Europe. That's the Balkans, north of.
Sorry,
north
I'm
of
a
Turkey.
fool. I'm an idiot. I don't know much about geography.
Nah, it's fine. I suck at geography too. Like I really struggle to remember like mountains and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I do have a bit of an accent. I try not to. Like I try to be posh or British. Maybe I could really speak a little refined
You can speak however
or a
you
little
want.
Russian.
I'm not trying to speech police you, alright?
No, it's fine. I think it's funny. I try practicing accents. Like I sometimes I would speak Russian very hard, you know.
I'm not very good with accents. Yeah. What's going
But
on,
yeah, as I
deleted
was-
user?
Yo, what's up?
Are you an Ancap?
No. Oh, no, me and you already talked before.
Did we? What did we talk about?
Ancap.
Oh.
I'm in your Twitter.
You're on my server.
Yeah, you don't remember me?
No, bro. I meet so many people all the time, and then we talk.
You literally you just had a debate a couple of days ago, and I was in there
Oh, okay, cool.
when you met.
When are you
to
gonna
kick the
join
guy
us,
out.
bro?
What, Ancaps?
Yeah.
The only I'm gonna be really honest with you. The only thing I really like about Ancaps is like I guess like the freedom to do whatever you want without like police or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I hate law enforcement. I'm a huge Second Amendment type of person.
Hell yeah.
I believe I wouldn't say abolish the law enforcement, but I would say
Privatize it.
like no, not really. I would say just put people in who actually give a fuck. Because there's a lot of cops out here who are just in it for the money and the benefits. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I think the best thing that we could do to make our cops more honest is to legalize all drugs, because legalizing drugs is what causes a large portion of the crime within the United States. 90% of the gun crime within the United States is gang on gang violence. A lot of the reason why they're shooting at each other is to control turfs in which they can sell drugs on. And if somebody sells drugs on another person's turfs, they can't just go to a court or or on they can't they can't go to a claims court, so they got to fight each other, and then they shoot each other.
Wait,
And now we have all this crime.
Wait, you said you want to legalize drugs?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Why?
Because I think it would cause more issues.
Well, we have a
Like,
lot of crime because of drugs being illegal.
I mean, shit. To be really, I mean, like, I agree with that. That is true, but you got to remember they're fiends too. So they're gonna rob and steal possessions to get the money to buy the drugs. Unless you just want to give drugs out for free.
I wouldn't say I want to give out drugs for free, but I will say that once you legalize drugs and allow for if you look at the main reason why drugs are expensive is because it's illegal. We've restricted the supply of drugs, and the supply can't really meet the demand, so it ends up being more expensive. Because when you make something illegal, you have to like smuggle it in and go through all of these hoops in order to sell the drugs, and that then
It's a risky venture.
it makes it more risky. It makes it more expensive. So once you take out all of that regulation and all of this stuff, stopping the supply from meeting demand, I would argue, or I would predict that the cost of drugs will go way down, to the point where your average drug addict would be able to purchase it without needing to steal from people, because nowadays it's like so expensive they have no choice.
So how do we? Okay, but if people are taking drugs on a mass scale and they're doing drugs, right? Everywhere, well, almost everywhere, a majority of places will look like Skid Row, and that's unhealthy to the public.
Well, the issue with Skid Row is that they basically allowed people to do drugs on like public property, and they allowed people to just set up camps at public property. They allowed people to do whatever they want in public property. But the issue is that's the issue with like having public property from our libertarian perspective, is when you have public property, you can't really restrict people from doing drugs and doing all of this stuff, because technically, quote unquote, everyone quote unquote owns it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas we believe we should privatize everything. Every property should be owned by an owner, and if you don't want a drug addict on your property, you could get them off. And if you do want a drug addict on your property, well, that's up to you. So I wouldn't expect people to be okay with like, yeah, you could go, Wizard.
No, I just want to take another angle at this, right? Is like, so we have a problem that like the drug addicts are stealing, and now you have drug lords that are fighting the police or anybody who wants to intrude on their business venture, right? And so you have a twofold problem, right? You have people who are producing drugs, and only the most violent and the most cunning actually survive, right? Because peaceful people, you know, they see, okay, police is gonna go after me, blah blah blah, right? The law-abiding citizen is never gonna go into such a venture, right? Even if there's money to be made. You know, a rational person at least would consider
Yeah.
the risks involved and go, okay, this is not for me, right? Because it's illegal. Now, so wouldn't it be better if we stopped chasing the people making drugs and actually go against people who commit crimes? Like actual crimes, crimes with victims, right? Me selling you an apple is not a crime. Me selling you a drug, also not a crime because it's a voluntary transaction. You could say that it's a crime by saying that it is illegal, and then I would basically counter by saying, okay, yeah, that's a victimless crime in that case, right? No person was harmed in merely selling a drug, right? So if we stopped going against, you know, after people, spending money, risking cops' lives, risking people's lives, right? If we, instead of doing that, right, went for people who want to steal to buy drugs, right? Wouldn't that lessen the problem?
So, just like I kind of want to go back to what you said, where selling the drugs is not really hurting. Like technically speaking, yes, like literally selling the drugs, but the outcome of the person who's buying the drugs and using and consuming the drugs could be very harmful to their own body and to themselves.
But that's
You know, you'd have
their choice.
I mean, yeah, sure, but
People have agency. Like if you're smoking cigarettes, right, that's not good for your health. And if I sell you cigarettes and you go a little crazy and you know you attack someone, or maybe
Yeah, but it's
alcohol,
not-
right? I give you alcohol, you get drunk, and you attack someone, right?
Yeah.
Who's at fault for me attacking you attacked someone, right? Am I at fault for that?
No,
No,
would
no,
the,
no,
like,
no, no.
the
Clearly had agency.
bartender would the bartender be at fault for like some drunk guy that he just sold alcohol to, you know?
No.
You know.
What I'm saying is that it's not healthy for their health, and that is going to kill them. And you're going to have like like literally like Skid Row. You're going to have people leaning over. You're going to have needles everywhere. You're going to have drugs everywhere. Maybe even dead bodies. I mean, you have people. I mean, literally, if I'm not mistaken, they said they released a map in California of human feces from the homeless people and from the drug addicts because they're shitting everywhere. You don't step in shit. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's bad. It's unhealthy for the environment. And same thing with smoking, like you said, without smoking. Sure, yeah, like whatever, selling cigarettes or whatever is. I think they should stop it. And on top of that, it could be bad for the environment because of secondhand smoking. So people who have asthma or kids who have asthma or lung issues who walk past these people who are smoking, it could give them an asthma attack or a coughing attack and affect their health in a negative way, a very negative way. It's not. I don't think it's healthy for the environment, and you're gonna have people just really fucked up and strung out, and I don't think that's healthy for society as a general.
Well,
But people have agency, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a lot of these people that you don't like and they're on your property, you can remove them. It go somewhere else.
and we don't believe in public property, so fundamentally that's our main issue with public property. Whereas when property is owned quote unquote publicly, quote unquote, anyone is allowed to pretty much do whatever they want on it, so long as the state allows it to go. Whereas if you're the private property owner of a block or a road or anything, you would have, and you don't want drug addicts leaning over, you would have the right to remove those people.
Why don't gated communities have this problem?
Because they keep them out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like, just give me. I'm trying to find the words for it. Like,
Yeah, take your time.
I'm hanging out.
Yeah. Like, oh fuck, I forgot what I was about to say. Oh man, I forgot.
What were you thinking about?
I was just basically just gonna circle back to my point of that. I don't know like how else to say it. I just think it's unhealthy. And
Yeah.
even though, yeah, like I understand you're saying that you could kick them out of your property, but even then, well,
Okay,
I
think
don't
about
have a
it
good
like this.
response because I already know what you're gonna say, and I'm trying to find a good response because what I was gonna say is that you could like, what if they just stay there? But you're gonna say that the because you already talked to me before that you believe in basically like companies like Allstate or Geico, like you can pay them for like insurance, like policies for like security and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna say that you could call them and then they can kick them out.
Hmm.
But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, the best I can say it is like, if you believe in no public property, so will every little piece of land in the United States of America would just be owned by someone?
Well, I mean, probably
Could.
not.
It could
Like,
theoretically,
it would.
but as of right now, no, not right now because nobody. As far as I could tell, nobody owns every. I can't think of any person that owns.
Man,
every
the
part of
graphics
the
on your
world,
PC look amazing.
You know,
Well,
or
yeah,
not.
but
Not. I mean, the whole part of America, or any group of people that owns a part of the whole part of America.
but based
So
off of your, but let's go to your hypothetically. Like, let's say America goes into anarchist capital. Hypothetically, like for example, like houses today. Like you have your neighbor's property, you have your own property, and then you have your other neighbor's property, right? So what I'm trying to ask is like, how would that exactly
I'm playing
work?
Turtle Wow.
For example, could you just like walk in the middle of woods and be like, this is mine now. I plant a flag here. I own 50 acres, 80 acres, 100 acres, or
No, no,
10
no.
acres. Or...
So from the libertarian perspective, we believe in homesteading. So if there's like unowned land, there's like two ways that which you can homestead land. So there's like embordering, which is like creating some sort of clear, like objectively discernible border around it, like one that you could like see, or you could homestead it, which is like mixing your labor with the land, which is like either working on it, tilling the land, or something like that, building a house on it. And then whatever you've homesteaded, that would. And the reason why we believe in homesteading is because if the land is unowned, well, then you're not really violating anyone's rights by using it because nobody owns it. So.
Well,
So, and what if someone wants to take that land from you? Like,
well, then they
they
would be
just come and
violating
kill
your
you,
rights.
or- But who's to enforce those rights?
Well, you could either enforce it, maybe you can hire somebody to enforce it. Some people, you could, maybe hire some insurance agency, some militia. There's many options.
family.
But see, that's the thing that kind of is a fallacy that I view as a fallacy in your ideological system, that because these private insurance companies, they would technically be the government.
No.
Well, we're not
technically
against
speaking.
governments. We're against the state. See, if you're on your own land, right, and you have a gun,
Yeah.
and you kick off any person that goes on your land, well, yeah, you're governing your property, right? We're not against people governing their property. What we're against is the state. The state is a specific organization that has been legitimized by people. It's a criminal organization, and they claim over a land that doesn't belong to them, and they claim over property that doesn't belong to them, and they force the people within that area that they claimed over to pay into their system, regardless of whether they want to or not. That's what
It's
we're
like property
against.
taxes and all that.
Yeah, through property tax. Would you agree, Wizard, with that?
Well, yeah, I agree with the general sentiment. But I just want to propose the purpose of property. Like, what is the point of you, say, owning your phone, right? When does it really matter to me that you own your phone? Well, generally no. Like, I kind of understand, okay, this is your phone, right? Only so long as we have no conflict over your phone, Meaning that I want to use your phone at the same time you want to use it, right? Or you don't want me using it at all, right? That's the only time that property actually matters. So
Own nothing and you will be
if
happy.
I said, I look at a hill or a mountain and I said, okay, I own this, right? Well, I'm implying that I have the ability to protect it if somebody were to create conflict, right? Or if I was creating conflict, I am arguing, okay, I will beat you out. I will own this mountain, right?
But this stuff is told
see-
by billionaires.
The problem there is that will everything be owned? Well, I don't exactly know, but most likely not, because the more land you own, the less land available is, right? The more conflict you will produce, right? Therefore, somebody will demand greater compensation, because if you think about it, right? There are only two reasons, right? Why don't I kill you and take your stuff, right? One is I will resist just enough to make your attempts unprofitable, right? I will have the risk of you attempting to take my stuff higher than it would pay, right, to cooperate with me.
Everything was made for by God.
Or
And it is
cooperation
enough for
with
all.
me, right, will produce greater profits for you, right?
Yeah.
Those are the only two legitimate reasons that you can think up, right? We are basically saying that not only is it wrong to initiate aggression, right? Because you started a conflict, right? We're also saying that the person has to know that they're starting a conflict. So the homesteading principle is basically that you emborder a land, right? Specifically to make a statement, okay, this land is owned by me, right? If there is no fence or anything, right? How can I know?
Yeah,
That's what I was.
that's where bordering sort of comes in.
That's why I said earlier. Like, could you just like plant a flag and just be like, "This is mine."
Nah,
Kind
that's
of
not enough.
like the colonies. Kind of like the colonies, right? When they first colonized America. You know
Well,
what I'm
that's more
saying? Like,
symbolic. You know, you have vast expanses where you had Indians, right? The rednecks, and you know, before the establishment of the central government, there were very little wars with the natives. You know, everybody opted to trade with the natives rather than fight them, right? The only people who actually went and fought the natives were conquistadors, British soldiers, right? People from the monarchy, from a centralized government, because the king doesn't bear the cost of war, right? He can tax his people. He doesn't care about how many men he loses. He'll just draft more, right? A common person, right, or a community, you know, a small community, you know, families, friends, close-knit groups, you know, if you think like covenant communities, I know that you have those in America, right? They don't have that kind of luxury, right? The US government wages war all over the world purely because it can tax you for 20, 30% of your income, of everything you have, right? And they can just point a gun at you and say, okay, well, now you have to go to war too. Right? They can offload the costs of war onto someone else. That is the only reason.
I get where you're going with. Like, I agree with a lot of the stuff. Like, you know, I really do believe in like personal freedoms and stuff. Like, I actually, you know, because ever since I had that first conversation with you, KingSithis,
Yeah, Sithis. You could just call me Sithis or just King, whatever you want.
Okay. I agree a lot with anarchy, especially against like law enforcement. I think law enforcement most of the time is like very fucking tyrannical, and people with huge egos.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree a lot with anarchy. I just don't think that it would actually work. And my reasoning is just that I think people will literally just go fucking buck wild crazy and just, well, ironically, anarchy. It would just go anarchy, like just absolute chaos. People just hurting. Like, I think what I'm trying to say is I don't think there would be. I don't think there would be really. I think people would be like, the best way I can describe it is like the tribes of the Indians before the colonizers came. I just think people would just be doing whatever the fuck they want, and I agree that's kind of the point of your belief, your ideology, belief system. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is that there will be no order in control, because I think everybody will literally do whatever the fuck they want. If someone wants to kill 10 people today and get away with it, then that's how it is, right?
That's not what we believe in. You know, we believe in having law enforcement, but the thing is, we don't believe in forcing people to pay for other people's law enforcement. You know, we believe in the non-aggression principle. We believe that should be the law. And if you want like more honest law enforcement, privatizing the police would probably be the best bet, because when you have a state that can tax people and take money from you regardless of whether they do a good job or a bad job, and sometimes even when they do a bad job, that then they use that as a justification to get even more money from you, because then they can use that as an excuse. Oh, we're underfunded, so we need even more money, right?
And I 100% agree with that. I do. I really do. But I also think at the same time, with your belief, with the insurance companies or whatever companies, they can do the same thing. They have
because you can leave. You can leave. You don't have to pay them. What I'm saying is you don't have to pay them. You can go to another insurance agency if you feel like they're being bad, whereas the government, you can't opt out. They're forcing you to pay. So if the government, if you could opt out of the state right now, that would make them think twice about how they're spending your money, because if they spend your money in a frivolous way, well, you could just opt out and go somewhere else, go to another private security agency. Whereas the state, you're forced to pay them regardless of whether they do a good job or a bad job. And sometimes when they do a bad job, they use that as a justification to give them even more money, because they'd be like, oh, we need more money in order to do a good job.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to really carefully say my words here. I don't know really how else to explain. Like, what I'm trying to say is like, these insurance companies that you could be paying, even though sure you can leave them, whatever, but what if they literally war against each other or something? Like, let's say one insurance company is doing really successful, they have money or whatever, they're hiring a fuck ton of security guards, making like a private militia, and what, again, hypothetically,
yeah,
what if they just kill the other insurance companies, basically like taking them over or whatever, and then you have to pay one big insurance company for your protection.
Well, the thing is, it's going to be less likely to happen in an anarchist, and generally less likely. I mean, I could imagine a situation where it could possibly happen, but I would argue would be very less likely to happen. And the reason why that is when you have when you're under a state, right? You only have one state. You only have one government around there, and they're a monopoly over the whole situation, right? So if they turn tyrannical, you have literally no one to turn to, because you're fucked no matter what. Whereas with multiple competing private security agencies, if one of them turns tyrannical, you could jump to their competitors, and their competitors, if they see that one of them is turning tyrannical, they could group up together to basically stomp out that one guy that's being tyrannical. Kind of like if there's many small states near each other, and one of them decides to turn tyrannical and invade, all of those other ones could group together, get their armies together, and then invade that one that's invading the other smaller one, you know? And it could work that same way with like private companies, where they sort of have like, I would imagine maybe they would have some sort of private agreements with each other, so that if one decides to overstep some boundaries, they could basically fight all together.
So then you just have one big fucking war.
No, it would be ended very, very fast, because all those other companies would just stomp that one company out very quickly. It would just.
Okay,
I
think
don't
about
think
it.
I don't think that's gonna happen though. I just don't see that happening.
Want to go?
Well, that is
I think
yeah.
I mean it could happen. There's a possibility, but I just think it's very unlikely because that would just be a lot of resources.
Oh,
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of manpower. That's a lot of guns. That's a lot of training. If you want effective troops,
Yes, that is the whole point.
they're probably more money than they're actually making.
That's the thing.
And then on
right?
top of that, what if the oven
Yeah,
erupted too?
yeah. You're
that's the
right.
thing.
Losing lives
then-
is expensive, right? So
That's why I'm a huge Second Amendment activist because I just believe if we all had our own fucking guns,
Oh, and
we would need
Kapistan, we would
less.
all have guns. There's no limit to how many guns you can have. So we would all have guns.
Oh hell yeah! Ain't no fucking what is it? Permits or any of that shit.
Nothing.
either.
We don't believe in any of that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because I think the law enforcement system is really corrupted.
But I think Wizard was trying to make a point. What was your point you were trying to make?
okay, so what I was saying is that this fear of war, right? Although not unjustified, right, isn't likely for a very simple reason, right? Why don't states war as often today, right? You don't see that many world wars, even though you have communists on one side and you have neoliberals on the other, and people don't like each other, Russia and this and that, right? Well, lives, right? Lives are expensive, right? And even more so when you can't levy that expense on other people. Suppose you have 3 companies, okay? 3 private security firms. A, B, and C. Now A and B, right? They really don't like each other. And so they decide, right? A has 100 customers and $1 million of revenue. And so it decides, okay, I'm gonna go to war with B, right? C company basically looks at that and says, I have my 50, 60 customers, right? And I don't want to participate, right? They remain on the sidelines, right? Now, you are a member of company A, right? And this senseless act of just warring, they're increasing, your premium was what, $100 a month, and now it jumped to $200 a month because war is expensive, right? So they had to increase costs. And so you decide to go to company C. You don't like company B, and you don't know why they're warring, but you don't know, you don't like senseless war at all, right? So you'll go to company C. Now see, what company A is experiencing, right, is twofold, right? They have increased costs, right? They're losing lives. That requires training, time, equipment, money. You have to pay the families after they're dead, severance packages, so on, right? There's so many things that you have to pay. People sign contracts because they're not stupid. And now you have to question whether the soldiers are supporting this, right? But in any case, their numbers of customers will dwindle because all you care about is not who wins the war, but about your own safety. Right?
And your
And if
paycheck.
company A is, committing aggression, company B might go after you too. So you will go to company C. And so will many other people from both sides, right? Now, company A and company B are both losing money and customers. And most of all, they're losing reputation, right? People are gonna know, oh, they went into this bullshit war, a couple of years back. Don't go to them. It's bad for business. It's like,
I mean, it is, but one of the companies could literally win and just take over all the other companies, and you have no choice but to pay that company.
No, there's still company C. Company A would, if company
No, that's what I'm saying. Wait, I think you misunderstood me. What I'm saying is, if company A or B wins the war, right? Yeah. They could literally just invade company C, and then you have to pay to that one company.
No, there's no way they can win against company C. They're losing customers and money. Now they're exhausted from a war.
Yeah, so I think what he's trying to say is basically like as an insurance company goes to war, that increases their costs, right? They have to make up for that
I
cost.
understand
They
that.
have
That
to
makes
make up
sense.
for that lost revenue, right? So what are they going to
Yeah.
do? They're going to have to charge people more. The people under their insurance firm, generally, I would assume are, I mean, if we're talking about like Ancapistan, right? You're going to have a bunch of people who support the non-aggression principle. So if their insurance firm, I mean, generally, if those people support the non-aggression principle, they're not going to want to support it. And another reason why they're not going to want to support it is because they're going to have to pay more in order to pay for that business's war. And because it's a business, they don't have to pay for them. So they could just go to Company C, the one that's not going to war, and get lower premiums.
Yeah, Company C won't charge you $200.
Yeah.
You care about your own safety. You don't care about who wins the war. You in fact, don't want anyone to win the war, right?
Yeah. Even if you didn't want, even if you like were indifferent and didn't even care about the non-aggression principle, you're seeing the price of your insurance going up, and you see that Company C has their insurance, the price of their insurance is staying the same. I mean, generally, you're gonna just move over to the one that's better off, and so long. And it's kind of like phone insurance companies, right? As they expand, as they make good decisions, as they cover more customers, as they provide better services, they get they could charge lower and they could get more people to provide their services. But let's say like one of the companies decides to expand too much, make bad decisions, make costly endeavors, right? Go into costly endeavors. Those premiums are going to go up, and then they're going to have to charge more. And the company that's charging less for the same service is going to get more customers, because people eventually, people vote with their wallet. They want to make less. They want to get the same product for less money.
And you can't really replenish dead soldiers overnight. People need to be born. You need to force someone to work. Maybe, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, it's okay. It's your first time hearing all of this, so like obviously like you're not gonna just grasp it all at once. But there is another way. We don't just need the state.
Yeah, the state is a monopoly.
Like, I agree with some of the things you say. It's just when it comes to the insurance company's part, I can just see a lot of feuding.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't have to be just insurance companies. You're thinking too limited.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it may not be specifically, but you get what I'm saying. Like, basically the companies that can offer these details of security and what have you.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that I can just, when it comes to that part, I just think that
it's possible. It's possible.
Sorry,
You're right, but
Hey, also in Ancapistan, everybody would be allowed to have guns, and you can start your own militia.
that too. But like as you point out, like you need training. You need lives. You're gonna lose people in a war. And I can basically recommend to you a very good video, both video and book about this topic. One is by Hans Hermann Hoppe, called Private Production of Defense.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the video would be, I can send it to you too. Let me just find it.
Right, there's Law Without a State?
No, I'm talking Kospaya, the Seed of America.
There's another one. There's one really good video. It's called Law Without Government. And it's like a little cartoon that explains how insurance companies could, or, not just insurance companies, but like private security agencies could settle their disputes and how it could work. Yeah, it's also really good.
Well, I kind of want to look at like historical examples of like where.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is pretty ideal.
Yeah. Like a what if scenario. We're talking this like Kaspaya is it was called Republic of Kaspaya, and it was an Italian province, right? that basically hired mercenaries for their protection. They existed from 1440 to 1826 due to an accident. Actually, they weren't included in a treaty of between the Medici and the Vatican, and so they were left alone. And it's a good lesson in history of how society can organize itself. You know, like people naturally form strong groups.
Law without government.
Yeah.
No rulers.
Yeah, I mean, we are a social animal, very tribalistic as well, naturally.
Yeah.
And it is important because then we can tell friend from foe. And friend is anyone who wants to cooperate, and foe is anyone who wants to transgress and conquer.
And I think we need to throw communists out of helicopters, like Hans Hermann says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking that Chilean guy.
That's
Yeah,
the
you know what's funny? I met a lesbian anarchist communist or whatever. Anarchist communist, which is kind of funny.
Disgusting.
it's not surprising. All communists and socialists are, as Yuri Bezmenov would call them, useful idiots. They're kind of deluded in this notion that Yuri
Sorry,
Bezmenov.
I didn't interrupt. Yes, I love that guy. I love his propaganda video.
Yeah,
that interview?
He was a propagandist. He explains how propaganda works.
Works, yeah. I saw the video. It's exactly happening in fucking America right now. They come into the dude. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I no, it's fine.
No, you're fine.
I lived it. I live in a socialist nation. This kind of propaganda is daily life.
Hello, Spakal?
Splickle. That's my guy right there.
That's me.
Hey, what's going on?
That's my guy. What's up, man?
Not much. Debating Ancaps. I thought I'd check in on the fireworks, see what's up.
Oh yeah, we're Ancaps.
Yeah.
Oh, swag.
Ooh. Well, not me. I'm not an ANCAP. I'm not.
Well, he's
Oh,
not, but
swag.
we are. Me and him are.
Gotcha. That's fair.
I got a question, Splickle. Be honest with me. Are you handsome fella, the YouTuber?
Am I Handsome Fella, the YouTuber?
You know who he is?
No.
You sound just fucking like him, dude.
Do I? Here, hold up. I'll look him up real quick.
His name is handsome fella. You sound a lot like him.
Okay. I'll give him a watch or two. I'll see what's up.
Nah, just hear his voice. That's all you do. Just like literally hear his voice. You sound similar.
Really?
In my opinion, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Is he a Minecraft YouTuber? What does he do?
I think he does like reactions.
Oh, okay. I mean, if I was a
What do you do,
YouTuber,
voice?
I'd probably do reactions too. That's a low effort way to get a lot of viewers. So,
Oh yeah,
you know.
I'm thinking about doing an Ancap reacts videos.
Gotcha. It would be
Yeah.
funny if you made it completely unrelated. Like you Ancap reacts to the new Star Wars TV show trailer or something, you know?
Ah yes, from my Ancap perspective, government should be abolished.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Start
handsome
doing
is spelled
TikTok.
HANSUM and fella FELLA.
Okay.
So are you for or against? Are you an Ancap too, or what?
Not really, no.
Why not, man?
I'm definitely a cap though. I don't know if I'd say I'm an Ancap.
Oh, bro, you gotta
Capitalists are always based.
take the gold pill.
You gotta take the gold pill. True.
Yes, the gold pill. What's up, Feck13?
Yo, what's up?
How you doing? Good.
13.
I mean, that's his name.
Yeah, Feck. That's right.
Are you an
Damn, this guy
Ancap?
does kind of sound like me.
Dude, you fucking sound like him. It's obvious you. I think you're trolling.
Oh, you think I'm him?
Me?
Your voice, dude. I just clicked on one of the videos. You sound like very similar, bro.
Bro, you got
No,
caught
but,
being
you know.
exposed.
I'm being
Exposing, heads down, ass out, showing the full moon. Sound like that.
true. Handsome fella exposed for being in the modern day debate server.
There it is.
Exposed.
Even better, he's a fascist. Now let me stop.
Fascism.
True.
Wow.
I actually believe in autocracy. I think democracy is cringe.
Wait, what's autocracy?
Racist. Yeah. What do you? Oh, it's like So like democracy is like the collective will of the people is the idea.
Yeah.
Autocracy would be like you have one person who makes most or all of the decisions, basically.
Yeah.
And there's centralized authority, basically.
Wait,
Kind of like like the guy from Jubilee.
Yeah. The fat guy who said he voted for John Pork or something.
It was like, oh, like an autocracy, like we're one benevolent dictator.
Yeah. Man,
That doesn't
I'm so
really
done
work
with
out,
Jubilee,
does it?
man.
don't
I'm
really-
so done with Jubilee. It's like,
yeah.
I don't really support government because government, I don't support a state because I think taxation is theft. It is a forceful extraction of wealth.
yeah, that's fair.
It is. It's not what you think it is. It is.
So we need to abolish it. We need to let people live free. I want to be able to have sex with prostitute and to play blackjack while smoking crack and doing drugs and steroids.
Fair. But you could do those things. You just can't get caught doing some of them.
Yeah, but it's
There you go.
what I'm saying. It's like the government is violating my rights by stopping me, bro. I think they need to stop.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they need to stop. I'm
Bro,
trying to
make it-
change the system.
can- Bro, buy like a fucking big piece of farmland, like huge acres. Do what the white people are doing. Create their own white town. Create your own anarchy town. There it is.
An Ancap.
Create
Oh,
an
no,
Ancap town.
I mean,
Yeah,
no, but I
Ancap
want to
town,
change
there
the
you go.
system. Like, I'm trying to change the system, you know? I'm trying to make this
I
system
guess.
more
I
like
mean,
my system.
I don't know about that though, because like
That's what I'm saying,
don't-
you could
don't,
buy-
Don't
Yeah,
like
isn't that-
companies and corporations have their own rules anyways? Like shit you
You could
can
buy-
and can't do.
On
you
their
could buy your
property,
own-
yeah, but
You could buy your own property, your private property, right? Like hundreds of acres or whatever, and just invite people in.
yeah, I know. But I'm saying is I want to change the system.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you got to start small, my brother. But that's
Maybe
the way
it
you
could
can
work.
change
Maybe if I
it.
get enough money, maybe I'll start an Ancap stand.
If you think about it, you
Yeah,
actually
well,
could. Because
I actually
think about it.
agree.
Like,
I
think
think
about it.
stuff
If,
like this is it's the kind of thing that you're not going to be able to jump from like 0 to 100, right? It's baby steps. You got to
We got to
start
get
small and
like an
slowly
Elon
scale
Musk
up.
to fund us.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't know. I mean, when we went from like feudalism to normal capitalism, it wasn't like an instant change. It was kind of a slow, city states and like villages started slowly adopting that ideology until it became the norm.
I think we need to convince more people, make states smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until we have everybody is like their own little government.
Well, I mean, capitalism started from the European bourgeoisie class, the homesteaders. They were literally calling themselves the homesteaders. On the Lockean principle, though, but it worked for them.
Based and red
But the
pilled.
thing is, but the thing
Full
is,
build.
right, that how the actual idea of freedom, economic freedom, right, took hold was due to British mercantilism. The English basically had a king who would favor certain merchants or certain lines of production, industries, military, of course. And how did he fund all of that? Well, basically by extorting everybody else. And so the Americans basically decided, no, enough was enough. And the tax wasn't even that big. Like, people think, oh, how big the tax could have been, right? But the tax rose by 2% on tea, and that's what caused a war, right? So
It's kind of funny, by the way.
I would say it was pretty abrupt. It was pretty fucking abrupt, right? I mean, there is many causes, right? One was that slaves could not be released. And similarly to the state today, like, you may think you own 100 acres of land, but you do not, because you pay taxes on it, right? If you owned it, you would get the decision of what is to be done with it. But the government basically comes in and says, oh, well, see, we have these zoning laws that you're violating. We drew the district this way. We don't want you to be... growing drugs here or whatever you want.
You're not
right?
allowed to build a strip club next to a public school. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
True. Why
That is
can't I
better
have
than
my
the
strip
point.
club next to a public school, man?
Yeah.
that is one way to formulate the argument, but basically you do not own it unless you're the ultimate decision maker of what is to be done with it. And how do you solve that? Well, usually, if no concessions can be made, you resort to force. So I would argue that capitalism arose in a pretty violent way.
Have any of y'all fucked a stripper before?
I fucked a Hooters waitress, but not a stripper.
No. But I'm not sure what that
Wait,
has to do
really?
with Ancapism.
Wait. No, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I feel like
I never heard of anyone fucking a stripper. I wonder. Yeah.
Hey, why would you pay for it? It's my thinking.
Why not?
When you don't need
Why
to,
you fuck the hoodies, girl? That's pretty cool.
When you take a woman on a date, you're paying for it, you know?
Well, I mean, okay, I'm willing to concede on that point. But yeah.
If you pay, wait, hold on. I'm just kidding. If you pay for the date, should you get laid that night? If a man
I
pays
mean,
for the date,
if
should you
she's
get
okay
laid?
with it. If she's alright.
Look, there's plenty of
Fuck
good-looking
consent,
guys.
bro.
There's plenty of good-looking guys
consent
who don't have to.
cringe.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't take me serious. I'm just kidding.
Whoa, bro, you know we're live on the internet. I hope they don't figure out who your boss is and send that clip to them.
Look, man, hanging out in Fireman Bill's VC has like permanently changed how I interact with the server. It's like,
Wait, what happened?
canceled.
What happened? Wait, what happened in Fireman Bill's DC?
dude, what hasn't happened in there? I do.
I don't know. I debated with him like fucking twice, and he just spoke over me and then kicked me out, so I never joined. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
he usually kicks me out. It is what it is.
He kicks everybody out. He's fucking. If you disagree with him, kicks you out. He's so fucking
Yeah.
annoying. He's just there and talks. Gives you a filibuster. That's all he does. Is
Yeah,
filibuster.
well, he's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. Certainly a tool, though.
Well, hey, we won't kick you out, so we're kind of inviting you to disagree with us.
Yeah, we want people to
Really?
Hell
disagree.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I disagree, but I don't have an argument of why I disagree. Boom. There you go.
It's
That was
okay,
the
bro.
maybe
There
for
it
next
is.
time.
Hey, at least I'm fucking honest. All right, I'm honest. All right, I'm fucking honest.
I gotta
There you
know,
go.
has any Ancap society ever like been a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
What?
have some things pretty close to it.
No swag. I actually don't know about this. Can I what are some examples? I'm curious.
Wizard time?
Yeah, okay, so we have Dubrovnik. They were a city-state, and they were basically a merchant city-state. And they formed as a standard city would in the Middle Ages, in the Balkans. And they basically broke off from the Byzantine Empire. And, well, nobody wanted to go to war with them because everybody was trading with them. It was a trading hub. Because there were no taxes within the city. The only tax...
How do you spell that? This sounds kind of cool.
Dubrovnik. BROVK. And
Okay,
NIK.
Okay. Swag.
Yeah,
City and
then
I
there
can
is-
message you
Oh, yeah,
some.
bro.
There's a picture that my friend sent me that has like some real examples of it. I'll send it to you if you want.
Then there
Yeah,
is
go for it.
Caspia. Caspia was a
no.
province in Italy that also... Caspia emerged in a very curious way. Caspia emerged because of the disagreement between the Medici and the Pope. And they weren't
Right.
included in the ratification. And since back then paper was expensive and it was arduous, nobody wanted to do it. So Caspia was left to its own devices. Nobody really cared. It was a small little province. But what Caspia had was a little bit of luck on its side, because in the following years, both the Medici and the Pope, right, the church, basically declared smoking forbidden, and so tobacco was banned. But Caspia didn't ban tobacco, and so Caspia, over time, because it had no ban, it wasn't included in the ratification, so it wasn't under local governance, and it became a trading hub. And it existed for roughly 400 years, from 1400 to 1820 something.
If you look at the side chat, I put up a photo of some real life examples that show. Here's a meme my friend sent me a little while ago.
Gotcha.
Then you have the west coast of America during the Wild West. You had gold caravans. Gold caravans wrote a constitution before leaving. I think Mantis Wave has a video on this specifically. You could find it. It's called... No, it's MRH Legacy. I can send the video as well if you want. But
MRH Legacy had a Wild West video on like how it's pretty close to.
Right. I think
Capstan.
I think I've seen a Mentis Wave video, but I don't remember what it was on.
Yeah, Mantis Wave has some pretty good content, and MRH Legacy definitely has some really good shit. His videos are a lot longer than Mantis Wave's, but they're like super deep and in depth and really good.
Yeah, that's fair.
then you have the Tuatha. Tuatha were kind of like local lords, basically. Villages would coalesce into local lordships, kind of like how private defense agency work today. It was Iceland, and it existed up until colonialism. So they existed.
Well, a lot of
for-
things existed up until colonialism, to be fair.
They existed for like 600 years or so. But why they failed was a fundamental flaw with their approach of picking. They still kind of picked a centralized figure. It was the head of all the families, head in name only, but he was
Gotcha.
brought forth to make a
They had
decision.
democracy.
And yeah, they had the democracy elements in there. But how it worked was basically, if you needed protection, you would go to your local lord and basically say, "Oh, hey, I will pay you X sum of grain or whatever, and you protect me for this year."
Mhm.
And if he didn't like the lord specifically that was protecting him, there was plenty. Like there was a lot of families. I don't quite remember. There, you can find it online. You don't have to trust my word for it.
Right.
Zulu has a
but-
video on that.
Yeah, I think so. Liquid Zulu. But in essence, how it worked is, if you didn't like it, right, you didn't have to move anywhere. You would just go to another family and say, "Oh, hey, I don't like this guy," right? Other families might approach you, offering you a better deal and stuff like that, right? And so, what tended to happen was that disputes were usually solved very civilly rather than with war, because as I explained previously to deleted user, war is expensive. It costs lives, especially back in the day where
Oh, yeah.
you know, no modern medicine, you know, you had like swords and shit. So the burlier guy was your better bet. But nowadays it doesn't matter. You know, like a 80-pound woman will kill a 200-pound male with a gun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, have they existed in the past? Definitely.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm checking out the Wikipedia page for anarcho.
Yeah.
Just getting a general overview.
I can send a thing in the chat that explains, gives a short explanation of what anarcho-capitalism is.
Right. I mean, I assume it's kind of similar to what the name would imply, where you have either a really small government or no government.
No state,
and
full
then
capitalism.
right, and then generally have markets kind of run everything, right?
Yeah, kind of. Very simplistic. Yeah. See, we don't use anarchy
There it is.
in a Wikipedia way. Anarchia, from the Greek word anarchia, meaning without rulers. Right. So not chaos, just without rulers. Right. The basic principle that follows is follows the laws of logic, the universality principle, of where you have the non-aggression principle, you have the homesteading principle, and you have the principle of property. So the non-aggression principle is the idea that aggression is any action that would start a conflict where there was none prior. So if you imagine Adam and Steve in the Garden of Eden, right? Everything is abundant. You know, you imagine a pie or whatever you want to eat, right? And it appears. There's no scarcity. There's no need for conflict, right? Well, property doesn't really matter in this scenario. So what does? Say Adam one day is sitting underneath a tree, right? He's physically occupying the space. Adam and Steve cannot simultaneously sit underneath the same tree in the same spot, right? And Steve happened to really like that spot. Just that spot where Adam is sitting, right? So if he wanted to take that spot, he would need to push Adam. Thus, initiating
or ask him
an
to
aggression.
leave, but I assume, you know, in this scenario, he would say no.
Well, whatever the case may be, right? He would commit aggression only if he pushed Adam. You can't commit aggression by asking or arguing, right? He can start shouting at Adam like, "Hey, that's my spot. I really want it," right? That still wouldn't initiate aggression because Adam can choose, right? He has agency, so he can choose to just ignore Steve. And if you extend this principle to property, right? Property only matters when there is a conflict. Resources are scarce, and so, you know, you and me cannot simultaneously both use a phone at the same time. Fact is, if you own the phone, you might choose to say, well, no, you can't use my phone at all, right?
Yeah.
Now, all that is saying is that if we want to resolve this conflict, you know, we have to admit that if you're the owner, right, you bought it or you built it or whatever the case may be, right? You've acquired it legitimately. You didn't steal it from anyone, right? It wasn't someone's prior.
Yeah.
To resolve the conflict, right, we admit, okay, you know, you're in the right here, right? Whoever is trying to steal me, I am trying to steal your phone, I'm in the wrong, right? Now, there are only two answers to why I shouldn't kill you and take your stuff, right? Only two answers. One answer is that you will commit, you know, you will sufficiently resist to make my attempt unprofitable. Risk of a loss of life or bodily harm, or maybe, you know, the phone might break or whatever it may be, right? You promise me, okay, I will fight you for this phone. And two will be that the other reason is that if I cooperate with you, right, you might point me to where I can buy a phone, or you might help me in some way if you choose to do so, right? So cooperation.
If it's okay, I don't need the full Wikipedia detail. If you can just like summarize it for me, that would be great.
Well, okay. So can I say this real quick? So basically, what we're saying is that we don't think it's okay to take things by force from people who own that thing. So if you have a phone,
okay, that was kind of what I assumed.
Okay, we do not think it's okay for another person to snatch your phone. We believe that the state is stealing from us. We believe we should abolish the state because the state is forcefully extracting our wealth through the threat of coercion. So because we own our property, and only the owner of the property would have the right to exclude the other person from that thing, for another person to say, you must give us that thing, if not we're going to do this to you, or shoot you, or harm you in any way, initiate force. Therefore, they are the aggressor, and they are always wrong.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair. Gotcha.
Was there time? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah.
No, it's
pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
We're always on the property right.
Not the full breakdown of it, because I don't think I'm not a fan of stealing. Morally, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just we hold a principled position of like this is principle. We're not saying that it is impossible that people will be doing this. It's just that this is a principle. The main disagreement with the current state of being, right, is that you have democracy, which is basically rule of majority. If 51% of people say certain thing is good, and therefore it is good, even though that is not a principled position. There's no principle behind it. Like if I said, okay, drugs are bad, right? Selling drugs is bad.
Well, not alcohol.
Yeah,
that is
exactly. Now you see the problem here, right? So, alcohol, tobacco, coffee, okay. Weed, nah. Okay, we changed our mind. Weed is okay.
Maybe a little bit of heroin.
Yeah, maybe cocaine. Maybe
Maybe some LSD. On at it. Everything else, no.
Yeah,
I'm on the weeds right now.
We should legalize all drugs.
Legalize all drugs?
Yes. And prostitution.
Fair enough. But I mean, I think that's fair for like adults. I think once you get children involved, that gets a little iffy.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. We're talking about consenting adults.
we get.
If it's an adult, I don't really care. I'm gonna keep.
See, but that's the thing, right? Is like when you consider a certain action, whether it's justifiable or not, is whether the other person can consent to it. If you don't, if I gave you a choice between an apple and an orange, and you never seen an apple or an orange, right? Can you really make a reasonable choice? Like, can you make that choice? If you
make a reasonable choice?
Yeah.
What do you mean reasonable?
Well, in the sense that you don't have all the information, you're kind of just shooting at the hip.
Well, yeah, if you don't have all the information, yeah.
Yeah.
And now imagine that if you couldn't understand the consequences of the choice, right? Like you couldn't understand that apple is sweet and orange is sour, or maybe you're allergic to oranges. But you couldn't understand that. Like I couldn't explain to you, so you fully understand, right? A child cannot understand like voting,
like why they can't, take a bunch of heroin. Yeah.
Exactly. They can't understand why that would be bad for them, and so they can't make that choice.
Yeah, children are too young to be able to make those sort of decisions for themselves. So because of that, it should be left to adults.
You can't consent if you don't understand the consequence, basically.
But if I give you the option of no consent?
Or even capable of,
yeah, I think these are pretty. I think these are pretty. Like, I think most people agree with it. But like,
well, I mean, not a lot of people agree with us because drugs are illegal. Prostitution is illegal. You know what I mean? And
Right. Well, I mean, I think the reason prostitution's illegal is to avoid like sex trafficking and shit, right?
yeah, but we're against sex trafficking. What we want is legal prostitution, and I'm level 60.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I think that's like the rationale.
I'm finally level
saying
60 in World of Warcraft. It took me fucking forever.
So you think we should bring back the brothels?
Yes.
If it's voluntary.
Okay. So, wait, hold on. But
If it's
that
voluntary,
STDs
yeah, voluntary.
But STDs and shit would spread like crazy.
Just wear a condom.
Yeah, it's not 100%
They spread now too.
To be fair, you can still get an STD through a condom.
Just wear a condom. Just be careful. Or just don't have sex with, or just have sex with a woman. Just have sex with a woman that has a positive test or not positive test. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, the only way you can prevent
Don't say anything about women.
I guess you could have all the brothel workers. You could have all the prostitutes take a test.
Maybe they would advertise that, as like,
the
hey,
only
all
way
our
you
women
can
are good.
prevent that is if you can read people's minds and force them to test. You have to force everybody to take a test after every encounter. Like what people
that sounds a little too governmental.
Nah, what I would expect would happen, like in a free market, if people are like really concerned about it. Maybe what you would see is maybe some brothels like advertising, hey, we got a STD clean women that we've tested ourselves. There you go.
Brothels would do that, yeah, because it's like I sign a contract that I will do these things. But can a state do that? Can the government of America, right, go, yeah, we want to do this right now to everybody? It's infeasible. People.
I mean, they
people
could.
will
I don't know if they would.
But the thing is with a business, right? Like a business can't force you to take an STD test. Like all they can tell you is like, hey, if you want to work here, you got to take one. Whereas a government, they can force you.
They have to force you. And here's the thing, right? We have drugs are illegal. Drugs didn't go away. Murder is illegal. Murder still happens. What else can you go to? Like robbery.
Well, yeah, illegal things still happen.
Still exist.
Mm-hmm.
If the government can't solve
I don't know if that's a super great argument.
Well, the thing is, what we're trying to say is that murder. The difference between murder is that there's like an aggression involved, whereas like if you have sex with a prostitute, you're not really hurting anyone. You're just doing something people don't like, right? Or people think is like distasteful. Hello.
Would I be allowed to own like a slave in an Ancap society?
No.
Well, no, because if a person, you're violating the slave's rights.
How about
who's gonna stop me though?
How?
Guns.
Okay, here's the thing. Well, I mean, you can say guns, right? But like, okay, here's the thing, right? This is why we have the principle position, right? On principle, you can't define property without first owning yourself, right? Who is the first possessor of your body?
Oh, that's me.
How can someone lawfully, ethically take away the possession of your body?
I mean, I wasn't planning on enslaving someone ethically.
Well, exactly.
No,
so
what we would say is it's against our ethics.
So if you can't, okay, so what we're going on here, right, is like we determine what course of action is just and what isn't just, right? So could you own it in an Ancapistan? If it's an Ancapistan, we have the non-aggression principle, right? So no, right? You can try, right? But then you will have a lot of enemies, right?
Yeah,
It
would be illegal.
Even if nobody came after you, right?
So you're telling me it would be against the law and people would come get me?
Well, yeah, because slavery would be a violation of another person's rights. You're forcing someone to do something against their will. So yeah, it would be against the non-aggression principle.
Would we have like a group of people whose job it is to like enforce this law and like make sure people don't break it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
private
Man,
private
It
security.
kind of just
but-
sounds
Private
like
security.
I don't know, like a police force or like a
No?
government.
I mean, yeah, it does. Yeah, we just don't want a monopoly on it. Yeah,
Yeah, we're not against governance. We're against a state.
we're against monopolies on force. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
voluntary. If you pay somebody to protect you, that's voluntary. If the state doesn't, it's not a like a protection agency. They're a
Wait,
criminal
what if
organization.
what if like a company monopoly?
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Slaves in the Middle Ages, right? They would run away from their owners, and where would they go? To the cities, where the craftsmen were. They needed the workforce or whatever, right? And where did the law that if they escaped for however long, right, and they become free come from? Well, because the monarch just couldn't be bothered to enforce it. Right? It just wasn't feasible economically to go after these people. So people would run away. Nobody aside from the slave owner really wanted the slave. And slavery is not economically viable. Why would I have slaves when I just need one guy with a big ass fucking truck? Or
Wait,
what do they
I mean,
call it?
to be fair, there are nations.
Yeah, the technologically inferior nations that are just kind of.
I don't know if it was me, but he kind of cut off. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I did. I was gonna say, doesn't China have like child slaves? And
China is a communist
nation.
Well,
Yeah, I
as
know.
a-
I'm not a China fan.
As a whole, right? Generally, it is like less. The reason why you see countries that have no slavery are generally more economically generally do way better economically than countries that still do have slavery. Mate. The reason why that is when you have a freer nation, and you allow people to choose the productivity and get paid for the work that they do. You would then incentivize them to do the best work that they can do so that they can then earn as much money as they can, and that then creates more productivity. But when you force people to work, they only do what you order them to do. They you have to pay for their when you talk about like a business work, like hiring somebody, you don't have to pay for you only have to pay them for their work. Whereas like a slave owner, you have to literally take care of that person, keep them alive, feed them, food, clothe them, all of this other stuff. So
Wait, I actually have a really interesting question. What if I like sold myself into slavery in an Ancap society? Would that be cool?
If you're agreeing to it, then it's not slavery because you're agreeing to it.
Wait, I got a question, King.
That would just be a normal job, and if
indentured
agreeing
servitude, that's
to
what I
if
should
like
say.
agreeing to work a job, if agreeing to work a job is slavery, then every job would be slavery.
So I should have said indentured servitude.
Well, that's just slavery, and we're against slavery.
Okay.
I got a question. Hypothetically, let's say America becomes Ancap, right? And another nation decides to invade this Ancap society. How would the Ancap nation defend itself from?
We'll
the
use
other
our
nation
McNukes.
invading?
We're gonna have a bunch of McNukes, and then we'll nuke them.
So just end the world.
That's so true.
No, we'll just end that country.
No, that's actually bait. That's actually bait. Because
That
you'd be
actually
like,
is
you know what?
nice.
No, hold on. No, it's actually pretty funny because it's like, you know what? Fuck you guys.
I'm gonna be a
Make you
nuke collector
guys
because in
Ancap now.
Ancapistan, it's not illegal to
Make
buy a
that-
nuke. Although it would be very, very hard to buy a nuke in Ancapistan because most private companies who would own nukes would not just sell their nukes to any random person because they know that if they sold their nukes to a random person that they would most likely get blown up by that person or so they're gonna make sure to only sell nukes to people, maybe to other private companies who are assured, who are like give them some sort of assurance that they're going to use it to protect people. But generally, in the private market, you wouldn't expect to see nukes and people using nukes. And the reason why that is because when you use a nuke, you kill a lot of people. And in Ancapistan, when whoever you kill, you're going to be paying for justice for every single person you kill. So if you use a nuke, a company uses a nuke, they have to pay for every single person they kill. So what they would probably use is more specialized technology that would like kill, like zap like one person, so as to avoid killing as many like non people who are combatants as possible, to avoid having to pay for.
What
all
if
those
the
people.
nation? What if that Ancap society or nation doesn't have nukes? Then what?
Oh, we'll use guerrilla warfare.
More
Is it,
grounded in reality.
Is it possible to like forfeit the right to your own body if you like crime like or jails and prisons?
No.
Oh, if you commit a crime, that's different.
See, here's the thing, right? What you gotta ask there is, can you leave your own body? Can someone actually make choices for you? Can someone move your hands? If the answer is no,
if they move it hard enough, yeah.
No, in the sense that what he's trying to say is that you can't. I could move your. I could go to your arm and grab it and physically move it, right? But I can't go into your mind and control you like a remote control robot, right? I can't do that. Only you can control your body in that sense. Does that make sense? So you can't transfer for you to like give the ownership of something to another person. You have to transfer possession of that thing to another person, basically relinquishing the control of that thing and giving it to another person. But as far as we could tell, there's no real way you can do that with your body, because you can't really leave your body, maybe unless you became like a ghost and like left your body.
So will we still have prisons in like an Ancap society?
Yes, but those are for people who commit crimes and are like violating other people's rights. What we're talking about are people who have not violated people's rights, innocent.
Think Wild West bounty hunts.
And generally, in Ancapistan, what you would expect most likely is the stray away from prisons, because for companies to stay away from prisons, because they would have to pay for that person to live, basically their food, everything, unless that person is like especially dangerous. What they would most likely have is allow them to like continue working, but they would have to pay you restitution for whatever crime that is basically committed, so they would owe you money. Or they could garnish their wages in other ways, things like that.
I mean, ultimately, if you can't resolve a conflict peacefully, where someone saves their life, basically. Like, oh, I committed a crime, I robbed the store or whatever, pointed a gun at the clerk, right? And there's this private security, right, that disarms me. I go, oh, whatever, what are you going to do to me, right? And so they force me to do labor, and then I just say, oh, I'm going to escape, right? Well, there is no peaceful... there's no... I'm in a performative contradiction, right? I argued initially that I will resolve the conflict by surrendering, and then I decided to run, right? So then they're perfectly at liberty to fucking shoot at me.
Yeah, so like for instance, if you shoot somebody, like for instance, like I shoot Wizard Time over here because I'm angry at him, and then my punishment would be, oh, I would need to pay his family or him restitution if he survives for the crime that I committed against him. If I then refuse to pay him, whatever I did to him would then be done to me. So then he would have I say, hey, I don't want to pay, I don't want to resolve this conflict, he would then be within his right to shoot me because, or do back to me what I did to him.
Would it be publicly, like a public execution?
No, depends. I mean, my family might
where it's
put up
at.
a bounty, right? They will go to a bounty hunter, right, and say, okay, this guy committed me this crime, whatever. These people ratify this, right? An arbitrator, some kind of lawyer, a reputable person, right? It can't be just anybody. The claim must be verifiable, right? So accounts, they go to a local arbitrator. Arbitrators exist today, as they have in the past. Like they have existed for thousands of years. They used to be village chiefs or like local lords, stuff like that, right? It just transitioned a bit, because anybody can become one. So just go to them, right? Somebody reputable, somebody in the know. And
yeah, I'm playing Turtle WoW.
They might even contract a bounty hunter for you, right? And that is what used to happen in the Wild West, right? You would go to the local sheriff or whatever, the police, and they would ratify this, and then a bounty would be put up, right? So anybody who brought his head or proved that he was dead would get the money from the aggrieved family. So That's kind of what happens, right? And I want to respond to the other point of like what happens if another country invades, right? Well, it is difficult to say. It is within possibility, it depends on the circumstances. But if everybody's armed, like, do you think that if the government of the United States of America just ceased to exist suddenly, right? Do you think any country could realistically just waltz in and take over everything? Like, is that realistic?
I think it would probably be.
I think they can go in there and just.
Easier to do. Yeah.
I think they can just go in there and just literally kill everybody and genocide y'all and basically be like, oh, they had guns.
Well, when you say the government,
at us and we just killed them.
when you say the government stops existing, what do you mean by that? Wouldn't that
Army
apply
or
all the
whatever.
people currently
The
in
state
government
would stop
ceasing
existing.
to
Yeah,
exist?
just gone.
Well, yeah, that includes like the military and the people who can launch nukes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but that would be privatized.
Here's the thing, right?
well, but you
So
asked like
America
if it stopped
spent-
existing right now, and right now it isn't.
America spent $3
Because there's a
trillion on
Uh-huh.
fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they still lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost
That is
to
true.
rice farmers.
Man, we lost to some dudes in fucking flip flops.
If you think us Ancapistanners are gonna have a way better chance, of fighting chance.
But see, these rice farmers and fucking goat fuckers, right? Did not
But
have
you gotta-
nearly the amount of ordnance your average.
You gotta
American.
But you gotta remember too, Sith, is the fight, which is probably the most important part that you're leaving out.
Wait,
They
what's
had
the
the
what's
will
the
to
point
fight.
there? I'm curious.
What we're saying is that the government, even though it has an overwhelming force, does not automatically mean they're gonna win. I mean, the United States, we threw literally like tons of billions of dollars at some poor country.
It wasn't
and,
profitable.
and it
will
wasn't
never be
even, and we were losing so much money, and we had to, and we pulled out, and then as the second we pulled out, they immediately just took it right back.
Like
So-
very few people profited, and people are still mad about that.
Lots of years of blood and treasure lost down the drain.
I mean, true, yeah.
And for what? For them to take it back in like what?
Well, I mean, really, I guess it was revenge.
Yeah.
After we killed Osama bin Laden, it's like, why are we even doing this right now? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like after that, it's like, okay, we could leave this place. Yeah.
So what was the point? You don't defend by going on in and fucking bombing children like Obama.
Or Israel.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Israel.
Israel? Oh, no.
I mean, it's just objective
We don't
fact.
talk about Israel.
Oh, I'd
We don't talk about Israel.
Not on Sithis' channel.
I mean,
When we're off mic.
I prefer we didn't talk about fucking
No,
Israel.
Israel,
I
what's
prefer
that?
we
That's
talk
not a
about
place.
Ancap
Made it
stuff.
up.
Hey,
We're,
so
we're keeping it on anarcho camp.
okay with Chinese? Are Ancap's okay with Chinese?
Yeah, we're perfectly okay with you guys. You're cool with us.
Okay, sweet. Because my take on it is that if you're old enough to get tried in a court of law as an adult, pay taxes, and learn to drive, I think you're old enough to take HRT. Surgery should be for adults, but I think when a guy's
Ooh. What's the ANCAP
Yeah, I think
take on abortion?
We're evictionists.
Yep.
I don't know what that means.
Do you want to
Well,
go? I can explain it.
I'll lose you.
So basically, the whole idea behind evictionism is that you have the right to. So we believe that you're the owner of your body. Just want to clarify a few things. You're the owner of your body. The baby is the owner of its body. So, but there's an issue, right? If you're the owner of your body and you're on another person's property, that person has the right to remove you from that property. In other words, evict you from that property. But they don't have the right to just shoot you in the head. So, for instance, if I'm blind, deaf, and dumb, and I walk onto your property, from the libertarian ethic, you would just have the right to just come up to you and just shoot
Right.
me
I mean,
in the
yeah.
head.
If there's like an infant on your lawn,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you can shoot it in the face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of proportional force done to you, or some like they have to be knowingly committing a crime against you. You know, whereas a baby is in the same situation, right? Like they're on your your property, which is your womb. Well, not your womb, but the mother's womb, and you have the right to remove that baby. And if the baby dies as a result, I mean, that's not your fault, but you don't have the right to directly kill the baby, as in go into her and kill the baby. All you have the right to do is remove the baby. Now, if another person wants to come in and take guardianship role over that baby, you would not have the right to stop that person from doing so. And if a mother wants to pay to basically take that baby out of the womb and put it into some sort of machine that keeps it alive so that they can keep it, then yeah, you would have the right to do so. They would have the right to do so.
Or pay for surrogacy.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Plenty
crazy
of
how-
mothers do it today.
I mean, my take is that you shouldn't. I mean, because it always comes down to, is it a human or not? And I think you're not really a human unless you can pay taxes, because otherwise you don't contribute to society.
Well, we believe taxation is theft, so
30
KingSithis.
honestly, like, yeah, 32nd trimester abortions.
KingSithis, how would I
Basically,
Ancap?
contribute? How is it fair
Wait,
to say
what?
they don't deserve rights for something that's outside of their own control?
So
How
I'm
would
sorry,
it
I
end-
couldn't. Could you say that one more time, please, Musketeer?
So here's the thing: somebody who can't pay taxes, if they can't pay taxes, it's not because they're willfully choosing to not contribute. It's that someone who's a child literally cannot do that.
Yeah, well, wop wop, buddy.
Can't like
KingSithis.
say they're
Should have
Yes.
forged an identity. Or something.
How would an Ancap society? How can an Ancap society's healthcare system would work? How would that?
It would be
set up?
privatized.
Oh, so just like the security and all that.
Yeah, everything would be privatized. There would be no intellectual property laws making drugs extremely fucking expensive. There would be no licensing laws making it, and no licensing requirement laws. There would be no more zoning laws. There would be none of these ridiculous. Like, I could list off tons and tons of laws that make it really, really expensive for health care, and
I
we
would
would remove all of that shit.
And I would assume infrastructure and that would be construction would be privatized too, right?
Everything would be privatized.
I got a
Okay.
question.
Mhm.
If government is the only entity that can properly build roads, why does Domino's Pizza fix them?
Probably because you
They-
get paid
they
to do
profit.
that.
Because the government is so fucking shit and they're not using the tax money where it's supposed to go.
Exactly. But why would Domino's
See,
Pizza be the one
I
doing
mean,
it?
my thing about privatized roads is that I feel like there would just be a bunch of tolls everywhere, and that sounds annoying to drive.
Not
Yeah, that does.
necessarily.
That's how the railroad started.
Yeah, it would actually.
Not
I
necessarily.
feel like
that is-
I feel like companies.
Well,
would totally
explain.
make that
Explain
annoying.
that. Explain this. I'd like to hear your elaboration.
So what you could do is you could charge, you could have people freely use the roads, but just charge businesses who alongside of the roads rent for the upkeep of that road, or you can you could have advertisements on the side of the roads.
You mean
you can
like
have-
how we do now?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wouldn't this make everything super expensive? Because these
No.
privatized businesses would be spending
Taxes
a
are
lot of
making-
money.
No.
No, I would
It
say
yes, it would.
I would say it would be a lot less cheaper, and the reason why.
They would be spending so much money on everything. You just said
It would be
you
less
said all the
cheaper.
roads.
Sorry, I would say it would be more cheaper.
Oh.
Sorry, that's not what I meant. It would be more
See,
cheaper.
here's the
I would
thing.
assume it would be more cheaper because when you pay for a privatized road, you're only paying for the road that you're on, and that's if they charge you for going on the road. Whereas the state, they make you pay for every single road, regardless of whether you use it or not.
Well, wait. Hear me
That's-
out. Wait. Okay, let's say you have a road, right? Let's say let's say they pay a toll, they drive on your road, and then let's say your road ends or your property or whatever, and they drive on Wizard's road. What if they have to pay another toll to Wizard?
If that's what
And
they
if so-
that's what they want to charge,
Okay,
for you to
okay,
use the
and-
road.
Okay, let's say And if they keep driving from road to road, they have to keep constantly paying a toll and a toll. Let's say your road's $5 and Wizard's 10 and another person is 15 or 20 or whatever. They have to keep paying all these tolls. I mean, everything would be super expensive. And we,
Yeah,
the
but again,
consumers-
there are ways in which there are roads that don't where you can that are funded through other ways that aren't necessarily done through tolls. So you could drive on those roads, so you don't have to rack up all.
Oh well,
those
I mean,
How
my
exactly-
point,
exactly
my
those
point
roads
was
be-
that I don't really know what's gonna like. I feel like if I'm a company and I want to make money, I would put a lot of tolls on the road. Like I don't.
Exactly.
Well,
You go to a
yes,
coffee
you could
shop.
do that, but then you would scare
I
away
wouldn't
all
put
the
it-
people who would then go to the place that doesn't charge that much, because then there would be competition in the market. If you overcharge for something,
Yeah,
people
but,
aren't
I
going to
mean,
buy
it's
less
like-
of your
but
stuff.
the point is people are gonna be charging tolls. Like over and over.
People
and
charge
over and
tolls
over.
right now,
Punching-
right?
Hold on, I gotta ask a.
Because it's being funded. It's
If
publicly
this
funded.
is a possible scenario, right? If all of these fears, right, are a possible scenario, why do we have free sampling? Why isn't coffee $1 million? Right? Why do diamonds cost
I
more
think
than
the
gold?
reason coffee is
Because
isn't
it's
$1 million
valuable, right?
is because no one would buy a cup of coffee if it was $1 million.
And
Exactly.
that
So
goes
why
for
would you
roads.
drive a road that's too expensive?
hmm If you
Oh, I'm not
if you
saying that-
overcharge for a road, people with less money, right, which are people
I'm
who
not gonna say that they're gonna.
I don't think
maybe
you're
pay $1
understanding what I'm saying.
million.
What I'm trying to say is, even though there would be like a competitive market for road tolls, the point I'm making is that you're still gonna have to pay a toll every time you enter someone else's
Not
road
necessarily.
or property.
not necessarily.
Okay, so how would that road? Okay, so tell me.
I've already I
Just tell me.
kind of already explained it earlier. So you can have businesses alongside of those roads, so that you could charge rent in order to use that road. You could have HOAs, local areas, local houses around the area that basically choose to pay into an HOA to keep the area nice and secure. That then funds use that money to upkeep roads. You can have advertisements on the side of the roads. Like there's tons of ways in which you can,
But that
fund
just sounds
roads.
expensive. That
It's
sounds
not-
very expensive.
Well, it's going to be less expensive, and the reason why is because with the state, they're forcing you to pay for every road, even if you don't use it, whereas these ones will only charge you if you use a road that charges.
I mean, my thing about tolls on roads is that I feel like at a certain point it's unavoidable, right? A lot of people
Not
take specific
necessarily.
roads.
Not
So, like,
necessarily.
I don't
Because
know
if
where
people
you're
don't have
from.
money, if most people want free things more often than they want things that cost money. So if there's a road that is giving you out their service for free, and you could take advantage of it as opposed to one that charges money, people are going to flock to the one that charges less or charges for free.
Yeah, but then there's gonna be there's gonna be like a traffic jam. Be like,
Then what
Most
they would use
roads-
that money? They would use
Oh.
that extra traffic to sell things and make extra revenue.
well, they
that they
probably
could-
put a toll
that they
there
could
because
then-
there's so many.
Like, there's not
that they
roadside
can
vendors?
hold on that they can then use to build more roads so that they can then have less traffic. Boom, there you go.
Man, if you say so, man.
I mean, that's how it
I mean, I don't-
works in the real world.
I don't think that was.
I don't know about that, man.
Tolls
Yeah, I don't know
don't
about
work
that
in the
either.
real world. They don't have private roads in the real world.
No, they have private roads.
All right, so there you
I'm
go.
just saying. I think economically the privatized. So who's to say the privatized industries won't just build their own fucking roads and buy up all the property? and then those
Because
people who
as
are
they buy
towing the
more
roads will
property,
just lose
it'll become
business.
more expensive, and then that would then incentivize. And as they make more profit, that'll then incentivize more people to go into the market.
Actually, hold up. I'm curious. I'm gonna do some research into
Because-
private roads.
Yeah, because if the privatized roads, they can build their own roads if they make enough money or whatever, and then yeah. And
Yeah,
then
but there
no
would
one
be
uses those
nothing.
roads.
There would be nothing stopping you from starting your own road company.
Let's see.
Under our system, like under our ideal system, there would be no law inhibiting you from starting your own road company.
Well, I mean, there's no real ideal system. It's called the ECP, the economic calculation problem, right? Is that
Ooh,
You-
this is my favorite socialism all time. Sorry, keep going. I'm fanboying out.
yeah, it's an argument against socialism, but The economic calculation problem, right, is the idea that as you grow larger, right, it is more and more difficult to actually calculate costs and profits, right? And if you have no markers for that, you can't really decide on what should be built where. Governments have this problem. They don't know what quality of road a certain place needs. They have no idea of how to even begin to determine that. Does some bumfuck nowhereistan need a Formula One road? Obviously not. But you don't know. Well, what if they pay for it, right, on their own? It's perfectly within their right to do so. The government basically comes in and says no. But here's the thing, right, is that a lot of the companies, right, will mostly make deals with each other, right, to use those roads. And the service, right, improves. But if you're not paying any taxes, right, they have less costs immediately. It's compound effect, right? You have to think about your incentives here, right? Why would Domino's Pizza be repairing those roads? Well, because if they don't deliver it to you in half an hour, right, it's free. That's their advertisement. That wouldn't make sense if companies could just fucking waltz in and monopolize everything. Right?
I mean,
if they
I
could
hate
charge
to be, I hate to be
arbitrary,
a government simp, but I feel like the government probably fixes a lot more roads. And so,
Under the current system, yes, but under what we're proposing, it would not be that way.
well, here's the thing, right? In Europe, you already pay tolls for roads, even though they're government built.
yeah.
The only thing preventing government in America from charging tax for roads is the Constitution.
Really? I didn't know that.
Crazy.
Also, when you look
Yeah.
at the budget for roads, like it's a very small portion of the budget when you look at like the total amount of money that our state spends on other things, like policing budgets, stuff like that. And entitlements is like a huge thing that our government spends a lot of money on.
Wait, doesn't the government already make us pay for roads? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Is the Constitution? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Hmm.
Is that if they are, so the argument goes, if they are owned by everybody, right? It is everybody's property or whatever. It's
that's
a
the idea.
group ownership. Now that doesn't make sense for several reasons, but we'll stay away from them. For now.
Well, I mean,
let's
the idea is
just-
that everyone can use it, right?
Yeah. So if if the American government decided to charge for it, they would basically nullify that, right? And that goes against the constitutional right, against your constitutional rights, freedom of movement.
I don't. Wait, it's free. Wait, hold up. Am I schizophrenic? Is freedom of movement a con? I'm
Yes.
getting hooked on semantics here. It's not important.
I don't know the exact wording or the exact label of constitution, but you can find it. You have a constitutional right to freedom of movement.
Why do we? I mean, is that a good thing?
Citizens of each state shall be entitled to privilege in several states.
I mean, is that a good thing though?
Oh yeah, freedom of movement has been judicially Oh, you're right. My bad. In Paul v. Virginia, in that Supreme Court case, it was recognized as one. The right of free ingress into other states, egress from them. Okay. So like being able to travel between states.
Yep.
That's cool.
That is why there is no toll on those roads. The government tried to do that.
Can the Supreme Court ever be wrong?
Yes, they're always wrong.
So, like, so why can't we say that they're wrong on them?
They're always wrong. It's crazy.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. That's a base opinion. I mean, like 9 times out of 10, they're wrong.
I mean, a lot of the times they're wrong, I would say.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
you're right.
But
we probably disagree on what they're wrong on, but yeah.
We're Ancaps. Do you support us? Are you with us?
What the hell is that?
Ancap.
I'm not anarcho-capitalist. I'm a corporatist.
Corporatist?
A corporatist, not corporatocracy. Corporatist.
I'm not sure what that means. Could you tell me what you mean by that?
So, in the early 20th century, a bunch of people, extreme right wingers, came about and they created a new economic theory.
Mhm.
A lot of the Nordic countries also adopted it using free market principles, and Michael Dukakis also supported it. Basically, all social groups work together in harmony, but the state is the great arbiter of these different social groups. The poor, the middle class, the ultra rich, the mega corporation versus the worker. The state is ultimately the arbiter of these different social groups.
That's not good, man. State taxation is theft. Someone's hot micing. I don't know who is. Oh, he left.
Here's my thing about the whole like taxation is like
Sorry about that.
on like a moral level, I agree, but it's also kind of like a necessary evil. You know what I mean? Especially when you have a country as big as like the U.S. where I live. It's like you kind of need that after a while.
So you're admitting it's theft. You're just saying like, oh, we just need it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
So, like-
it's ultra black pill, but like yeah.
Can I
what
ask
are you
you-
gonna do?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
So like, let's say there's like this utopia, and like it's like this beauty. You know what a utopia is, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence or anything or whatever. But,
No, I'm pretty retarded. It's okay.
no, I don't think so. I was just gonna say, let's say you're like there's a beautiful utopia, right? And it's gonna return back to a normal city with crime and fucked up shit going on, right? Unless there's a secret satanic ritual in which you must perpetually rape a dog.
I have to rape a dog?
Yes.
Oh no.
No.
So
What,
are
me
you
personally?
morally obligated to rape the dog?
No.
Ooh.
Why not?
Well, because anarcho-capitalism is fucking gay and cringe. That's the reason.
Wait, that has nothing to do with my hypothetical, bro.
Wait, how hold up. So this is a utopia. How bad does it get when it's not a utopia anymore?
It returns back to a normal city.
Uh-uh. Wait, wait, hold up. Are you comparing a utopia in a normal city to like
A
something
utopia
funded by
would be
taxes? Not
like
funded by taxes?
there's like unlimited resources, everybody's happy, just like you know, everybody lives forever, it's beautiful, whereas like a normal city would just be like, you know, how it is in like New York or something.
Listen, I'm not raping the dog, okay? I'm not doing that.
But somebody gotta rape the dog.
Yeah, sure. At a certain point, what are you gonna
What
do?
if it's like a person?
A
I'm telling you,
person?
man.
Oh, dude,
No
don't do it.
hesitation.
Well,
Come on.
No
don't do.
hesitation.
Let me tell you. Can I answer the question?
Go
May I
ahead.
answer?
I mean, you can if you want to. I mean, you don't have to answer.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. No, I won't answer. I would say no, because ultimately, when you have to do one immoral act to actually benefit the whole society, then that means it's a not utopia. Then it's not a ideal society. It's not a just society. So no, it's not. That's not right. To actually
like
rape the dog,
taxation?
to rape the child. No, I wouldn't say
This is a
taxation.
necessary evil.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
necessary evil.
I would say this: taxation isn't necessary evil; it's a necessary good. Taxation isn't that. Taxation is civil service. It's duty. It's something greater than yourself.
What if I don't
you're
want to pay?
individualist, well, then you're not actually focusing on the collective. You're not focusing on society. You're focused on
Yeah, I don't
yourself,
care
on
about
me, myself,
society.
one.
I only care about myself. I only want myself to care about myself.
And this is why I say anarcho-capitalism, not anarcho-capitalist, but anarcho-capitalism as an ideology is fake and gay. Because
Okay, how is it good? No, hold on.
Because it's
Fake
not-
and gay.
it's not- it's
How
not
is it
good
good
society.
for
It's one of the
civilization?
wildest species of
How is it
How
good
is
for
it
society to steal?
civilization if
It's not stealing.
there are people in it who do not consent to it? How is that good for civilization? How is that any different from raping a child and calling it necessary evil?
Dude,
How
that's
is it
fucking
different?
crazy.
Because
That
ultimately
is your
the state-
argument.
because ultimately the state is the one that actually owns your wealth, that owns your property. At the end of the day, and the state giveth, the state take it away.
You said
The
it was
government
a
of the
good-
utopia owns your property and all, and the same thing as the
You
state
said
does.
it was a good thing. How is that good? That is no different than saying that raping a child is a necessary evil. How is that good?
Well, I'm not going to say raping a child is a necessary evil, but when it comes to
You
taxation,
just said that.
but wait, just listen to me.
You
No,
just
hold on.
said that.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
when it comes to taxation, I would say it's a necessary. It is a just good. It is a just good because it ultimately you are helping your average
never
man.
kicked you.
You're helping you're helping your community. You're helping your country. You're helping your nation. That's what I would say.
And it's not helping me,
Those are
and I don't want to do it.
good things to do. Raping a child is not an objectively good thing. It doesn't
Well, we
help
didn't say a child. We
What
didn't say a
happens when I
child.
do not do it? What happens when I do not do it?
Well, when you do not do it, then you actually are going against state interests, and the state has the right to actually go after you.
Yeah,
and that's
it goes out and kills me. So
Yeah, they're gonna kill
raping a child is a necessary evil, same as killing me is necessary because I don't agree with your views.
Well, then you can leave the country. You can be exiled. You can actually be put in political prison. You can actually go. You can get the death penalty. It depends on the
my
state
property
that you live in.
that you are claiming ownership over. You are claiming ownership of my property and saying it is a just good.
Well, to
it
be
is the
fair,
same thing as saying that raping a child for a utopia is a moral necessary.
Okay, this is what he's.
You are
I think
living in the country, which is kind of the state's property if you think about it.
the only legitimate way in which you could come upon property is through consensual transaction or original appropriation.
What, like buying a territory and forming a nation there?
Yeah,
which is how a lot of countries.
That's
are
not what the
formed.
state. How did they get that money?
But this is how I would say is that like
Well, they got it
ultimately
through theft. And if you got it through theft, then we would not consider you to be the actual owner. That's like if I stole $20 from you and bought Skittles. It's like, no, I'm not the owner.
What if you didn't get it through? Hold up, if you didn't get it through like it's whatever.
But yeah,
then
like
you would just be the owner if you didn't get it through theft.
Yeah, private property rights are not absolute. I mean, there are limits to private property rights. You have eminent domain. You have nationalization.
Eminent domain is theft.
Eminent domain is good for the public good. It's not all about individualism.
It's theft.
I mean, that's just the truth.
What if the state comes in and says, "Hey, now we think it's good for you to give your ass to everybody"?
No. We have a disagreement about what is property.
Property is not the same as becoming a sex slave. I'm sorry, it's not.
Your body is your property.
No, it's not. Your body.
What if I sell myself in this
either?
I already answered this question. Why are you answering me again?
Well, I thought of a thing, which is that because you said that if you work at all, that would be slavery, but if you get a job, you're selling your labor. Slavery.
No. I never said what you just said. I said that if you work a job, it's not slavery. If you choose to work a job, it's not slavery. So you can't voluntarily be a slave because if you're volunteering, then it's not slavery.
I voluntarily go to a guy and work for you forever. You'll take care of me.
Are you volunteering?
It's like,
is it voluntary?
But guys, here's the thing. Even under capitalism that we're in currently right now, slavery is illegal for criminals. I mean,
no. We're talking about innocent people. We're talking about innocent people.
Oh, okay. So that's different then. But
yeah, we're talking about innocent people.
But so in an anarcho-capitalism, is certain amounts of slavery okay if it's for criminals? Then
you can void your rights. Yes.
Yeah, you could void your rights if you violate another person's rights. So if I shoot you, I could use the threat of shooting you back to repay me restitution. Yes.
Okay, that's a little bit more based. But I do think though that should be up to the state that decides that. Though I don't think it should be up to the individual person. That's one thing I think it should be done
either by you or some third-party arbitrator.
The third-party arbitrator should be the state, the centralized government that has almost absolute.
We don't believe in the state.
And I understand that, but ultimately, a centralized government is the more efficient way of actually executing these type of things.
Nope.
If you have a civil dispute, you absolutely should go through the almighty authoritarian right-wing government.
Nope.
All hail Trump, type of thing.
Nope.
And that's ultimately the ideal. That's the utopian society. That closest you can get to it, basically.
You ever heard of the economic calculation problem? The economic calculation problem?
Well, no. Well, the good thing is bullcrap because ultimately nationalization actually does work. So I mean,
but it's inefficient. It's more inefficient than privatization.
When the communists do it, yes, it is inefficient. When the right wingers do it, it is efficient.
It doesn't matter who does it. Anytime you nationalize a system, It's always going to be more inefficient than any privatized system.
Wrong. If you look at Portugal, they were extremely successful compared to other privatized industries.
They would have been more successful.
capitalist
They would have been
countries.
more successful if they were privatized.
No. I mean,
And the reason why is because of the economic calculation problem.
Well, I mean, if you're like measuring GDP, maybe, but like it's not about GDP; it's about quality of life for the populace. Corporatism works better than capitalism does, especially anarcho-capitalism and libertarian capitalism.
Wrong. The economic calculation problem. If you want more people to be satisfied, the more goods being allocated to its most needed needs. Having some guy at the top just arbitrarily choosing what should go where, as opposed to having many millions of people based on prices, the price signals that arise through private property trading. When you trade your goods and services, prices arise. Those prices are signals that allow business owners to calculate what is the best way to allocate scarce resources. Whereas if you have somebody at the top basically controlling where everything goes, they don't have prices, so they don't really know what's the most value productive route for all scarce resources. Yeah, you can have governments that nationalize an industry, and some of them could figure out a way to make profit. But if that business would have been privatized and there would have been competition in the market, it would have been way more efficient and would have made way more wealth for the poor than some state would have.
Yeah, I would say
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go for it, man.
Sure.
What if? Well, I guess this is more of the Ancap. What if the other countries don't let you have nukes or make them? That is like a super.
They can't stop us from making nukes.
You say so, man.
They can bomb us.
I mean, they could invade your country. They can use their intelligence agencies to actually pervert your government. I mean, you can try to if they have their paramilitary.
We're gonna have guns. We're gonna have weapons. We're gonna have private military, AI drones, 3D printed weapons, militias.
No, I think China would be able to conquer the United States if we went into anarcho-capitalism.
No,
but let me go back to respond to what you said. I think largely what you were critiquing is more of a planned economy, which I do not support. Ultimately, you need some nationalization, but you still have privatization. I mean, I'm for private property rights, but they're just not absolute. If companies go against state interests, guess what? They're not for the American people. They're not for the average consumer. I mean, they're for their own profit margins, okay? So ultimately, you have to nationalize these certain industries to actually go against state interests, put them to heel, and threaten other companies who actually who are trying to go against state interests to actually prevent them from doing it. I mean, you have to have a arbiter who is actually going to make sure the economy works well and not purely rely on the free market, because ultimately what happens is monopolization and also exploitation.
Monopolies only happen under a status system.
No, I don't believe that. I think that's a libertarian anarcho-capitalist.
Could you give me an example of a monopoly that wasn't a criminal organization and didn't get any state help?
Not on the top of my head. Not on the top. I have to admit that.
You know why? You know why?
The silicone industry.
Because it's impossible.
Well, I mean,
the only monopolies anyone could ever think of are monopolies that got either patent law that were helped by either through patent laws, through eminent domain, either through minimum wage laws, any regulatory laws, zoning laws. These are all laws that these private companies pay the state to put in place to basically make it harder for their competition to arise, which then allows them to sort of monopolize that business. So if you want less monopolization, repealing the state and not nationalizing businesses is your best bet, because nationalizing a business is quite literally turning it into a monopoly. So if you're against monopolies, then nationalization should be you should be running away from nationalization. Oh, did he leave?
Sorry, I think I'm.
Oh, okay.
I disconnected.
Did you
hear me?
What was the last thing that you heard from me?
Hello?
I can hear you. Do you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I can hear you. Do you hear us?
I mean, do you guys hear King?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear him.
That's weird. Hold on.
I think he might be having some technical problems.
Yeah. So,
If
I
anyone
like the
else,
point he made earlier about them coming in to take our nukes. I mean, they could just continuously just keep bombing us. And I understand you made the point earlier about like Afghanistan and the United States, but I mean, what if the people lose the will to fight, or what, or whatever? Like, what if things just go wrong?
things
Then
could
what?
always go wrong, right? I'm not saying it's like impossible. What I'm saying is just like when you have a privatized system, it's going to be less likely to go wrong because you're more efficient.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. You hear us?
Hello?
What's up, dude? You hear us?
I cannot hear King for some reason. That's freaking weird.
Do you
Did
have
he
me
turn
muted?
down? Did he turn on? Yeah.
Please. Okay. Say that one more time, King.
Do you have me muted or anything like that?
I think I accidentally muted you. I'm sorry about that, man.
No, that's no problem. I'm here.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Actually, for last time I heard about like the overregulation in society and how like mega corporations exploit that. I actually agree with you. I think John Stossel has a great view on that. Like he's more of a libertarian.
John
capitalist.
Stossel's the goat.
I like John Stossel. I disagree with him on some things, but like he has some good critiques. But I would say this though, like that like ultimately it doesn't mean that there's no regulation at all. That's the thing where I think there's a logical leap. There's bad regulation and then there's good regulation. If you have a good government system with true right wingers, true nationalists, true people that actually have the right political ideology, it would help prevent big mega corporations from stemming about as well through intervention.
So you're more of a minarchist.
I'm a corporatist.
Well, but the thing is, when you nationalize an industry, you're turning it into a monopoly. Isn't that something you're trying to fight against?
Well, I would say this: as long as these monopolies are state-run and they actually give the workers a good wage, then that's all that matters. I mean, you can still have monopolies, but you have to have monopolies that treat culture and treat society fairly. And that's the issue we have in the United States. You can still have state monopolies.
But who determines what's fair?
Well, I mean, I would say this is that, a lot of these companies that actually promote LGBTQ ideology, all these social woes, they should be nationalized, and they should actually change their platform.
Well, you don't have to buy from them, right?
Well, you don't, but they still influence society. They influence wider society. You're focusing on the individual compared to the collective. Societal, they have massive influence. Sure, I might not need to buy from them.
People they give them influence because they agree with what they are saying.
Or it's because they're getting tricked by these corporations to actually believe in these things and to actually be influenced by them because they like their products. I don't think the people should have that much freedom. We have to limit the people's freedom to a certain extent. And this is where the libertarian-esque mindset is different from the authoritarian-esque mindset. The libertarian is for maximum freedom. The authoritarian is for restrictive freedom. I'm on the restrictive freedom camp.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't consider any of those things that, like, I don't consider LGBT and all this stuff to be a bad thing. Like, I don't care if a company is okay with that.
Well, I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's your personal opinion. But like when we're talking about society and when we're talking about like proper governance, I would say objectively that is the right opinion. That is the right thing, regardless of what the populace believes. That's why you need a strong state. That's why you need intervention.
So you want the state to enforce your opinion on people?
Objective reality on people, sure, yes.
That's not objective.
I mean, the state already does that when it comes to LGBTQ ideology. You probably even believe in all that stuff because of this state interference and propaganda in the first place.
Well, no. I don't believe in Listen, what I'm saying is, I don't think there's anything wrong with another person having sex with another man fundamentally because they're not violating anyone's rights, right? I'm not saying I think it's a good thing or I think people should do it, right? Yeah. I'm not saying go fuck somebody, so go fuck a man.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's the state who actually gives and takes rights. I mean, at one point in time, you did have the right to actually get married to the opposite sex, and then in another era, you did.
Yeah, but the state stopping us from the state stopping a person from getting gay married, that's a violation of their rights.
It depends on the state and depends on the country.
The state does not define our rights. The state does not define our rights.
The state defines the rights.
No,
that's where we differ.
So if the state comes in and says now we have the right to rape you, does that then make it all right?
Honestly, even though it's not a morally good thing, that is their right, because objective rights do not exist. They're subjective. It's depending on the culture and the society at large. I mean, in the United States, we used to have the right to abortion in all 50 states.
Wait,
and that was literally the genocide of our domestic populace. And
okay,
guess
so
what?
are you
In
trying
another
to
era, it changed.
argue with it because state gives rights, right? And Germany made being a Jew illegal. No Jews were murdered. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, like ultimately, like yes. It doesn't mean it's morally good, but it's ultimately that is the right that the state gave to the populace to actually kill 6 million Jews. It was not good. It was not moral. But that's just how it is.
How can you say that? How can you say? What does that even mean?
We're not asking you. We're not.
Right.
Hold on. We're not asking you whether or not that is the case. We both agree that it is the case that states have the power to force people to enforce certain rights or non-rights, right? All we're saying is that fundamentally that we do not recognize the state to have that right. We do not see the state as having that right. Do you see the state as having that right to enforce our rights or to tell us what right we should have or should not have?
That is ultimately up to the state, yes. I mean, like, here's the thing.
Why?
Like, traditionally, in the alignment sense, from the founding of the Constitution, you have gun rights, you have freedom of speech, you have freedom of political process. Guess what? These are not objective. These are not absolute. These are not God-given, like how the founders actually envisioned. Ultimately, in reality, these are up to the state. Freedom of speech has been hindered plenty of times throughout the time of the United States' founding, since the very beginning. Freedom of political process, you have political parties that have been suppressed, that have been actually banned or curtailed. I mean, all the time. Freedom of press too. You have literally U.S. propaganda and also intelligence agencies. Infecting these quote unquote independent media agencies. So, like, yes, it's ultimately up to the state. Does it mean it's objectively good or bad? Not necessarily.
Well, that's what we're asking you. What we're asking you, right, is whether or not, like, if a government tomorrow were to say, "Hey, it's okay to like murder 7-year-olds," would you say that
would be objectively wrong? That would
you would not consider that to be legitimate, right?
I would think it would be wrong, but that's ultimately up to the state to decide. But it's wrong. It's objectively wrong, regardless of what the state decides.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. Wait. But that's what we're saying. We're saying that for the state to come in and forcefully extract wealth from people and do things against their will, we would say that that's just. We're saying that that's wrong, regardless of what the state says.
And yeah, I absolutely understand the argument. The thing is, objectively, you guys are wrong on that. It's okay for the state.
How do you determine what's objectively right and wrong?
No. So now we're enforcing subjective moral beliefs on the populace now? That's what you're trying to do?
Wait, where are you getting your objective moral beliefs from?
Christianity. I mean, here's the thing.
Wait, so let me ask you a question. So,
let me ask you a question first. Where in Christianity does it say it's immoral to actually tax the populace?
Huh?
Where in Christianity does it say that's immoral and theft to tax the populace?
Well, it says it's immoral to steal in the Bible.
Well, you know what? It also says, "Give unto Caesar to what is Caesar's, and give unto Christ to what is Christ." So, like, you actually have to affirm.
So you support. You do realize the government killed Christ, right?
Well, it's true, but Christ was a political revolutionary.
So you support the industry that killed your God.
The apostles still pay taxes,
but it was under the pressure of the people, because the people told what's his name to Pilate to kill him, and Pilate said himself, he said, "I see no wrong in this man." He said, "Why should I kill him?" So technically, under the pressure of the people, the government was kind of forced to be honest.
Wait, can I get this back?
And that's why.
Wait, but back on track. Like, you're saying that your rules are objective, right? What makes them objective?
I think Christians can have different political ideologies, but I do think that anarcho-capitalism takes it a little bit too far. I mean, taxation is theft. Give me a break. Come on. I mean,
I mean, it is theft. I mean, if you don't pay, someone's going to shoot you.
This is one thing the libertarians do get right. The state has a monopoly on violence, but the thing is that the state has a monopoly of justice too, okay?
You're treating the state as if it were an agent. Who gives these powers to the state?
The state itself.
No, how does the state itself
It's not the people.
itself
It's not
power?
the people. It's not the people.
Then who is it? Who is the state? Who is the state? Is that a person?
Ultimately, it is the ideology that is in charge. I mean, in the United States, it's the people who elect it. That's who gets.
So the
power.
majority.
Well, for right now, but
You're basically saying rule of majority.
But you know, to go back to what that one guy's argument was, where he said, like, guess what? The majority of people voted for Christ to be killed. Actually, that's a great argument against democracy. It's
an argument against governments in general, right?
Away from the United States.
It's an argument. Hold on, guys. John Locke, go ahead.
We need to be less authoritarian and more, less democratic and more authoritarian in the United States. Because guess what? The people make wrong decisions all the time. They're fucking idiots. They don't know what to do. And guess what? They need a strong state, a strong government, a centralized government to guide the populace. Individuality, purely, where it's like a maximum amount, brings destruction. Because guess what? These people are fucking idiots. That's
so
just
this
the
is,
truth.
but this is
That's
your
a collective.
subjective opinion, though, right?
Wait, I want to clarify something.
Guess what? You know, almost like 50% of the populace actually voted for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. They voted for Joe Biden in 2020 when he was fucking senile. That's not subjective. That's not subjective.
No, I'm
That's
asking
fucking
you:
objective.
is this your subjective opinion?
When it comes to the the populace being fucking stupid, no, that's objective, dude. I'm sorry.
How do you determine?
They're fucking
Wait,
idiots.
how do you determine whether your ethics are objective or not?
I mean, basically, what you do is you look at the data, you look at the politics, and you look at the
No, what I'm saying is you're saying that it's
reality
okay
and-
for the government to tax, and you're saying that's objective, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then
I
how
think
do you
it's
determine
fine
whether
for
or
the
not?
government,
How do
yeah.
you determine whether or not that?
I would say this. Let me clarify this. It's okay for the government to not tax, but it's not theft. It's not immoral for the government to tax. You guys
Okay,
would say it's immoral.
How
and
do
it's
you
wrong.
determine
That's
whether
the
or not that's objective or not?
I would say this. It is objective because it's in scripture, because God himself
God says so?
God himself says, guess what? It's okay to actually pay taxes to Caesar.
So
a
because
godless
God says
pagan
so?
who persecutes Christians. Yes, it's easy.
So if
It's
God
easy.
instructed you to
I know
rape
half you
someone,
guys aren't
would
really
you do it?
religious, but-
If God instructed you to rape someone, would you do it?
Hey, stop. That's impossible because that's against God's morals. At least the Christian God.
So then your God can't do everything?
No, that's against his morals. God has a laid set of morals.
So then
and
your
he
God
doesn't
isn't
go
all
against them.
powerful?
No, he doesn't go against his morals.
So then he isn't all powerful?
No, he doesn't go against his morals.
So he can't go against his moral? You're saying there's something that he can't do?
No. You're not listening. He chooses not to
I can't understand what you're saying, bro. Your microphone is really messing up.
It is messing up, but I do agree with deleted, whatever he said. You know, ultimately, you know, this is the fear of extremist political ideology. Okay, it becomes a religion of itself. I mean, it sounds like to
If
me,
your God
Kane, that
instructed you to murder somebody, are you going to do it or no?
Can you hear me?
I mean,
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear
now
me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Go for it, deleted. You go for it. You got it.
Okay, what I was saying was God chooses not to go against his morals, just like how you choose not to rape children, right? He
Can he
chooses
do it?
not to. It's not that he can't. He chooses not to. He
Okay,
can
but
if he wanted to, but
if he was in this hypothetical, let's say God came up to you and said, you need to go murder that guy over there. Are you going to do it?
Again, as I said, that'd be impossible because that'd be against his
So
morals.
then your God isn't all
That's
powerful.
against what God says in the Bible. No,
That's
you're not
no.
listening.
In the
That's
hypothetical,
against-
your
he
God.
chooses not-
Listen to me.
Okay,
In the
okay,
hypothetical,
okay.
your God is instructing
Okay,
you.
wait. So if a rapist fucks children, can he not resist that?
Hold on.
He has to fuck children?
Listen to me very carefully.
Hold on, answer the fucking question. No,
Listen
answer the
very
fucking
carefully.
question.
The question that I asked you is very
I am
simple.
listening carefully.
I'll
I
answer
just
you.
answered it. It's impossible because he chooses not to
No,
go
in
against
the
his morals. It's
hypothetical,
brilliant and understandable.
in the hypothetical, he is asking you to do it.
If he is, what God are we talking about? The Christian God or what?
Your God, yes.
All right, repeat the question one more time.
Your God has come up to you and he asks you, hey, I want you to go murder that guy over there. Are you going to do it?
Can I please respond to that?
Again, for one, that's very unrealistic, but just to entertain it for the sake of argument, no.
So you would disobey your God?
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
that wouldn't be God because, again, as I said.
No, in the hypothetical, it is God. In the hypothetical, it is God. Your God.
In the hypothetical, that is God. That is God.
Yes, it is your.
Sure.
In the hypothetical, it is your God.
Yes.
You would
yes.
disobey
Why are
your
we on a
God.
religious debate when it comes to economics? That's
No. I said I would murder the guy. Yep.
Wow.
But here's the thing, King. I mean,
And you too, John Locke. Are you with him on that or?
Well, no, I'm not. I disagree with him, but I would say
That man was probably probably fucking kids. He's probably a child rape. Like God told me to kill him. There you go.
What if he was innocent?
He was fucking a little. He was fucking a little boy.
What if he was innocent?
And God told me to kill him. I don't know that.
But
all right.
What I want to say though, King. I mean, this is why I called the libertarian and anarcho-capitalist movement. Like the Lobetarians, like these people are socially progressive, fiscally conservative. I mean, fiscally libertarian. I mean, honestly, there's no root in theology. There's no root in godhood, and it's just like.
Yes, we're not Christians. We don't believe in a sky daddy.
Yeah, and it's fucking cringe. You guys shouldn't be calling yourself right wing in the first place.
I don't think it's okay if a God ordered me to rape someone, I would not do it. No.
Well, here's the thing. You guys don't even believe in objective morality in the first place. So you guys are like imposing your own subjective, personal opinion on the populace.
Yeah, but yours isn't objective. I don't believe yours is objective.
Wait, just listen to me. If subjective morality was real, then guess what? If you raped 20 million people, it wouldn't even matter. It would just be societal based. It'd be cultural based. It'd be individual based. Especially from your ideology, that's the natural endpoint.
Yeah, and if your objective morality is true, if your God told you to rape 1 million people, that would be okay. So.
Well, guess what? At least we actually have a standard. You guys have like some personal.
We have a standard too. We have a standard.
Individual people. No, you guys do not. It's not.
We
objective.
Believe in the non-aggression principle. Yours isn't objective neither.
Well, yeah, but it's the non-aggression principle is some sort of subjective baloney bullshit.
And yours is subjective as well too.
And honestly,
the only way in which you could prove. The only way in which you could say that ours is subjective and yours is not is if you prove that God is real, and you have not demonstrated that God is real. So.
It's just an economic discussion. That's the reason. If we want to go in the theology room, we'll go in the theology room. This is
but you're the one. Listen, I wouldn't have gone into the theology if you weren't making the whole argument that your beliefs are objective. You're the one making the claim. Oh, my beliefs are objective. So if you're gonna make that claim, I'm gonna question it.
So you don't believe your beliefs are objective? You think it's all subjective, and this whole debate is not?
Yes, I believe it's subjective morality. Yes.
Then why are you imposing your economic?
I'm not imposing anything on anyone. I have never imposed a single thing on any innocent person. No.
But I'm just saying this. If you think this is the ideal, or this is the best thing, that's an objective.
Yours is subjective too.
I'm sorry.
Yours is subjective too.
It's a objective standard.
All right, prove that God is real now. Prove that God is real now. Prove that God is real. Go.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I'm a little bit rusty. Where is he? Oh
Where is God? I don't see him. Prove it.
Oh my God. Okay, so like. Go into for one, what type of proof would actually
evidence, something demonstrable, something I could see, maybe anything, any piece of evidence. Show me. Actually, give me your most strongest piece of evidence for God. Go ahead.
I don't work that way. So like you want.
Oh, so you don't have any evidence for God.
You're not even letting me talk, dude. I mean,
I just want a yes or no.
I'm trying to get your criteria, dude, because the thing is, like, I can give you my evidence for God, but then you say, oh, it's invalid, it's wrong. So give me your criteria. So you want something that you can touch, taste, and feel.
Give me your strongest evidence for God. Right? Go ahead.
No.
No, why not?
Specific. Give me specifics.
I need something to. I told you already. I've answered the question. I've said something demonstrable, something you could test. Something you could prove, reasonably prove.
What do you mean by that?
You don't know what demonstrable means?
No, what do you mean by testing? Do you mean like the scientific method?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where I don't like the new atheist movement, dude. I mean, here's the thing: you can actually find
So
proof of
hold on.
objective
Let's just be clear.
morality.
You don't have any evidence. You don't have any evidence. Then
No, because your whole entire like criteria is bullshit. Because ultimately,
I need
you
something.
don't need-
I need
you-
something,
you
guy.
don't
My
need-
guy.
well, No, you can get a lot of things, but guess what? You don't need to use a scientific method to find objective truth. You think you can actually test and actually use a scientific method to actually test economic theory, to test like societal conditioning on certain things, on politics. Guess what? It's a different type of objective truth. It's a different type of actually finding
you have to
objective
prove the
reality.
axioms for and the difference between like economics, right? Whereas like economics, you can't really use empiricism to prove economics, but you do have fundamental axioms that are undeniable that stem from those those axioms, whatever. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Whereas you don't have anything. You don't have anything to prove anything. So like when it comes to economics, I could be like scarcity exists, so therefore when two people can't use the same thing at the same time, I could demonstrate that to you in real life. Whereas your proofs, you're saying, oh, God exists. All right, so demonstrate that to me in real life.
Would you concede that there is multiple avenues to find objective truth then, outside the scientific method?
Yeah.
Good.
You
So
could
why are you
logically
actually using
prove
the
God,
scientific-
but you haven't done so.
Good. That's why I'm asking, because guess what? Like, I mean, you can find objective, moral, and objective truth outside of just the
But you haven't done
scientific
so.
method.
You haven't done so yet.
Well, because I haven't tried that, because I'm trying to understand what your criteria is.
Listen, I've literally asked you like 20 times.
You're trying to give me the
I've given you
scientific
20
method.
times. Give me your strongest evidence for God.
Yeah, because you're trying to actually use it based off a false criteria. You're trying to use the scientific method, like, to actually
I
do
said
it.
you could
And I think
give me
that's-
your strongest evidence for God. That could be in anything. Give me your strongest evidence for God. Go ahead.
Give me specifics.
You don't know what evidence is?
No.
Do I need to tell you? So, do you have evidence for God? Yes or no? Do you have evidence for God? Yes or no?
I do. I absolutely do. Don't
Okay,
give
show me
generalities. Give
it. Show it to me.
Give me
Where is it?
specifics.
Show me
Give
evidence. Show me the
specifics on
evidence.
what your criteria
You're saying
is
that you
and-
have
and-
evidence
and
for
the
God.
base
Show me the
scientific
evidence.
method. Give me specifics. That's all I ask.
Just show me the evidence. My specific is I want evidence.
Okay, so like if I said that, here's the thing, dude. Like when it comes to actually having objective,
Come on, bro. You
evidence
got to
for
give me
something,
something, bro.
you have to have criteria. You can't
Evidence.
just say give me evidence and then you don't have any criteria to back
If you
it.
don't have any evidence,
Because
just say
actually
you don't
give me
have evidence.
and then
If
will
you don't have
come up
evidence,
with
just
your
say you
own
don't have
criteria.
evidence.
Just fucking listen to me for 2 seconds. You're annoying as shit. Let me just talk to you, okay? If you just gotta give me criteria on what you need me to give you in order to prove the existence of God. Give me some criteria.
Evidence.
Besides scientific method. What is evidence to your in your personal opinion?
Something that proves something. So what do you have to prove that God exists?
Sorry, I think I lagged out for some reason. Say that again.
I said something that proves something. That's what evidence is.
What does that mean specifically?
Something
Because
you need something to. Okay, like if you're unable to prove that God exists, just be honest. Just tell me you can't do it.
I don't believe that. I absolutely can prove
Okay,
God
so then
exists.
give me
but
then prove it. Go ahead. I'm telling you to do it. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you.
Because KingSithis, it depends on your criteria. People have different criteria on what they believe is true and what is believed is false. Okay, that's just the truth. Everyone has their own subjective, personal, like standard. Okay.
So if you don't have evidence, just be honest and just say you don't have evidence. Don't sit here and flip flop and say, "Oh, I have evidence," and then when I ask you where is it, you don't want to tell me. You don't want to tell me.
No. You just don't want to tell me what would get you to actually believe in the first place.
Evidence.
Instead of saying the scientific theory.
No, I didn't say scientific theory. I said evidence. I said evidence.
Method. And guess what? The scientific method is not a great way to prove the existence of God.
Give me evidence. Do you have? You said you had evidence. Give me the evidence.
God.
You said you had evidence, right?
Yes.
Show
but
me the
guess what?
evidence.
People have different understandings to what evidence is. And
So
what
you don't
is
have
the
evidence.
criteria to believe in God.
Okay, so then you don't have evidence.
What do you define it as? You don't even
Something
can't even
that
give me
proves
a
you got
definition.
existence.
You can't even get for what? Okay, specifically, give me specifics.
Evidence.
Is it
Give me
miracles?
evidence.
Is it philosophical argument?
I just need
is
something.
It blood,
Give
flesh,
me
and bones?
anything.
You have to have a DNA test for it. What
Yes.
is it? Give me.
Show me
specifics.
the DNA evidence of God. Go.
Okay, here's the thing. Jesus Christ resurrected from the dead and ascended to heaven. How can I give you DNA evidence for that?
So you don't have any
that
evidence?
That would go against Christian claims. In the first
Okay,
place,
so
it would
do
just
you
prove
have any
Christianity
evidence?
to
Do you have
prove my
any
religion.
evidence?
It depends on what. This is the thing again. What are you talking about? What type of evidence? Give me your criteria.
Any kind of evidence. Any kind.
What does that mean?
You don't know what any kind means?
For you, I don't understand what it means.
Any
For you,
kind of
for-
evidence,
for-
any kind
you're
of evidence.
KingSithis, you're an individual,
It's
you're not
Sithis.
collectivist. You have your own personal opinion on these
Okay,
things.
so you
Give me your
don't have
personal
evidence?
opinion. Oh my God! Just give me your.
I said just give me any kind of evidence.
Which is, what do you want?
I can't tell. I don't know what's in your head. I'm asking you.
No. What's in your head? What is your criteria? What is your standard?
Evidence.
Okay, how do you prove something is true or false if it's supernatural?
Evidence.
Which is what type?
Anything. Show me anything.
Like?
So you don't have evidence.
I do. But
okay,
give me
so then
some-
why are you refusing to give me the evidence?
Because different people have different criteria.
So you don't
That's
have
just-
evidence. You either do have evidence or you don't
no,
have evidence.
it's not. Dude, you are individualists and you should understand this.
Hold on, listen to me. You either do have evidence, right? Or you don't.
Yeah.
Right?
I do
So
have evidence,
you
but
do you're
guess
saying
what?
you're claiming you have evidence for God, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
most people
show me
do.
the evidence.
Yeah. Okay. If you give me your standard for what's sufficient to make you believe in God, I'll give you the evidence.
Okay, I'm done. I
Because
can't
guess what?
do this.
It has to be catered to the individual.
Bro, you're making
It has to be catered to
my
the
brain hurt.
individual.
You're making my brain hurt,
Well,
bro.
yeah, it should make your brain hurt because guess what? You never read philosophy in your life. You're a fucking new atheist. You didn't know shit. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm
Well,
the
you're
idiot.
not an idiot.
I'm the
You
idiot
gotta
in this
read up on
conversation, yes.
On this crap. You got to learn this stuff. I mean, that's just the truth. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this. I mean,
stuff?
you gotta have a criteria on why you believe in XYZ thing when it comes to
No.
metaphysics.
You believe there is a God. We don't believe in anything.
Yeah, and
Okay.
guess what, Bob?
So
You would have
the
a different
onus-
criteria compared to King.
The onus
What
is
would be
on
the
you
threshold
to
to actually
provide
go from
evidence. Here,
atheism,
listen.
agnosticism, and theism?
Wait,
And that's
hear me
the
out.
truth.
Wait, okay? Look, I have a voice. You can hear it. Anyone who doesn't believe I have a voice can come to me and hear it. Okay? You're hearing me speak right now. That is an evidence.
So we know that you exist.
You do know that I exist.
That's evidence, right?
Maybe I am an AI, but you can conclusively say that at least I have a voice. That is the bare minimum you can determine. If I told you I had a phone, you could come and see it. There is no philosophical way of interpreting whether you have a phone or not.
Well, I mean, I
Right?
would say that, like hypothetically, I mean, you guys could be just a delusion of my own mental state, and possibly I could be a brain in bad, and this could be all a simulation. I mean, the thing
that
is,
is you. That is one person.
This is why I give criteria to atheists and agnostics, because guess
So
what?
I have never seen it.
Because
I've
new
never
atheists
felt it.
typically,
Never
King
heard
is,
it. Okay?
I've heard it plenty of times in the new atheist movement. That's dying out.
I did not care about. I'm not a new atheist. I'm a very old atheist. I'm literally asking you, can you provide any form of evidence that I can go and see and say, okay, to my doubtful mind, right? This is beyond any doubt. And the obvious answer is you can't. Can you prove that there is no black kettle orbiting the planet right now? Well, of course I can't fucking prove it.
Now,
So I
even if
can
you
prove
provide,
there is no God. You have to supplant. your evidence with
like a kind
what you
of
call
force
philosophy.
I mean, if you're making the claim, you gotta provide the evidence for it.
No,
No,
we're
you're
not making the
providing
claim. You're making
you're
the claim.
supplanting.
Well, here's the thing, King. I mean, like, then you have to actually give a sufficient amount of standard of why you would accept or deny that evidence in the first place. I mean, that's
But you haven't even provided any evidence.
Well, yeah, because you have to give me the criteria first. And I can
Oh my
cater
god!
to your
Oh my god! I
particular
literally
case.
fucking did.
multiple
I
examples.
literally
I have
did.
multiple
I
examples,
literally
but
did.
you haven't given me
Okay.
a single thing
I
to actually,
did.
in order to
I
actually
did.
talk to you about.
I did.
Let's drop this then.
The scientific method. That's the most.
No, I did not. I said any. I said any evidence. You got to show me any. Give me your strongest evidence for God, and you were unable to do so.
It's too fucking broad. I'm sorry, dude. It's too broad. I can give
You don't
a
believe in your
boatload
own.
of
You don't
evidence.
even believe in your own God, dude.
King, shut the fuck up. You don't even know me at all.
No, you don't.
I mean,
because if you believe in your God and you believe that your God, there's evidence for your God, then you would just be like, all right, here it is.
No.
Why not?
Because, how I said before, it's about the criteria of the individual. You have to actually get that, because guess what? They will pivot. Here's the thing. I will give you 5 different things, and you'll deny all of them. Do it. Because ultimately, you're not giving me a
that would be
standard
better than
as to
what you're
why
doing
you actually
now.
why you determine something is true or false in the first place. That's the
give your
thing.
goddamn
That's the
evidence.
difference.
Oh my
And that's just
God.
the truth. I'm sorry, dude.
You're
I mean,
just dodging. You're dodging. Respectfully, you're just you are.
You're
You are.
dodging.
I'm not dodging at all. I've literally given you my criteria. You just don't.
In your life, dude. That's the difference.
John. Just give all your evidence that you have right now.
No. King needs to actually give his criteria.
You don't have evidence.
But he doesn't exist.
King, you need to give your criteria if you're going to get in a theology debate.
I did. I literally did.
Okay. I already answered to you. The scientific method is not.
I didn't. Did I say the scientific? I didn't say the scientific method. I didn't say the scientific. I said give me any one of your. Now you're changing what I said. What I said is give me any evidence that you have to prove that your strongest. Give me your strongest piece of evidence that you have, and you said no.
Give me specifics. It's not that hard.
I said give me your strongest piece of evidence that you have.
Give me specifics on what.
Give me your strongest piece of evidence that you have.
Give me specifics.
What is the strongest piece of evidence that you have for God?
Are we just going to go back and forth?
Because you're not answering the question.
You're not answering the question either.
I am answering the question. I've given you a criteria. I did, guys. Have I not given him a criteria?
Yeah. You literally did. You the strongest piece of evidence. That's all. That's all he's asking.
No, sure. And I'm telling you this. Like, guess what? That's not a good criteria to actually find that something's true or false. You actually just say, "Oh, give me the strongest piece of evidence that like Martians landed on the moon or whatever." I mean, give me a break. Give me specific criteria on how that is. Is there scientific evidence to actually prove that? Is there U.S. government documents that prove that? Give me fucking.
Then you're making a claim without evidence.
Is it really
you're making a claim without evidence.
Is there artifact?
Well, no, this is the new atheist argument. You're making a claim without evidence in the first place. You're saying, guess what? Guess what? You're actually saying that, like, basically that, like, you're either a hard atheist that like there's no existence, there's no evidence for the existence of God whatsoever, which is a claim, or it's like we cannot.
No, let's say I don't know if God exists, and I'm asking you, hey, you believe that God exists? Like I'm a guy that has no idea whether or not God exists, and I'm coming up to you and I'm like, yo, bro, I want to know whether or not God exists. So could you prove to me that God exists? Prove to me that God exists.
Yeah, and then I'll ask you, what's your criteria? What would let you
believe? Give me your strongest evidence. Then I would answer. Then I say, give me your strongest evidence for your God. Go ahead.
It doesn't work, dude. I'm sorry.
King, wait.
I get it.
Wait, King. All right,
you
John.
Get it.
Physical evidence. Do you have physical evidence at all?
Yes, but like it's not like
show it to us.
But you don't have Jesus's tomb like a physical body in Jesus' tomb.
So you don't have physical evidence?
You do.
Where is
But
it?
it's not. It's not. Well, I mean, what's your criteria?
Oh my.
Yeah, give me your standard first, and I'll tell you. I'll give you all the spiel.
What else do you want? What do you want? What else do you want us to say? We've given you the criteria.
Give me your method. Give me your scientific
Show it
method.
to us. Like I just want you to present it to me.
How would you prove the immaterial?
Show it on your camera. The physical evidence.
Oh yeah. I'll show you my house. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have any. So you don't have any physical evidence. You're admitting that now.
In the picture, at least.
No, I never said that once.
Not even a picture.
No, I never said that I don't have physical evidence.
Okay, so where is it? That's what we're asking. So where is it?
Where is
Give me your criteria. Is it physical evidence that you want? If you have any physical evidence whatsoever, that's your criteria for the. If literally like the Prophet Muhammad like rose again from the dead and showed up in your doorstep, that would be your physical evidence. That would make you believe in Islam.
That would be better
like
evidence than whatever you've given me so far.
That would be more evidence than what you.
Okay. But it wouldn't still actually make you believe in God in the first place, correct? You probably think it would be a hallucination or like delirium or something like that, right? Or am I wrong on that?
It would be better than what you're showing.
That's not what I'm saying. Would that make you believe in a deity? Would that make
Probably
you believe in a religion? Why is that, King? Why is that?
I believe
because I don't know. I don't think Muhammad is telling the truth.
Like.
So even if you had evidence of an immaterial reality that like life is not flesh, bone, like the Prophet Muhammad literally showed up in your doorstep as a ghost, you would say, "Oh, there's no supernatural reality."
Okay, you know what? How about that? If he showed up as a ghost, then I would say yes. I would say, you know what, ghosts are real, and maybe God is real. Go ahead. Now, so can you show me that evidence? Can you do that for? Can you bring Muhammad to my house and show me that God is real?
You can find immaterial reality all the time.
Yeah, show it to me.
You can. Okay, sure. On remote viewing, the United States government actually invested heavily in its remote viewing program back in the 1980s and improved their immaterial reality. They still actually do the remote viewing program into this day.
Could you show it to me? Could I buy one on eBay and then use it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the actually remote viewers actually were contracted by the U.S. government and still work with them. You can actually get trained courses and everything like that too. So yeah, you can actually do remote viewing. You can actually do psychic ability. And guess what? It's not pseudoscience. There's hard science backing it up too. So that proves that there's an immaterial reality. It doesn't prove that there's a God, but it does prove that materialism is a false
but I didn't
ideology.
ask you that. I was asking you whether or not it proves God. So you admit that it doesn't prove God. So what proves God?
Guess what? It's steps, dude. If you're a materialist, you're not going to accept any of my arguments for the existence of God because you already presuppose.
So then you don't have evidence.
There's no supernatural reality in the first place.
So you don't have evidence
for supernatural reality. That's what I'm trying to show you at first, dude. I mean, it's not that hard.
So you don't have evidence.
I mean, what are you saying?
You're saying that you don't have evidence.
You're putting words in my mouth. Just because you have no standard doesn't mean I have no evidence. Just because you have no standard for truth for the immaterial plane and for the existence of God doesn't mean it's on me, dude. That's on you. That's all I have to say.
John, you've been doing a lot of talking and a lot less evidence giving.
Yeah, too much talking, not enough evidence giving.
Well, yeah, and you guys haven't given me any criteria for your own personal beliefs and why you believe things are true or false. I mean, it's on you. It's on fucking
physical
you.
evidence.
I'm sorry, guys.
Show me physical evidence God exists.
Like what? Like what type? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Show it to me.
Give me an example.
Your strongest physical evidence.
Give me an example for both of you.
Anything.
Well, actually,
anything.
Anything. What do you mean anything? That's too broad.
Anything you got. Anything you got.
Specifics.
Anything you got.
All of
whatever you have.
All of your evidence.
You guys are the most stubborn libertarians I've ever met in my fucking life.
I don't even know if this guy's a libertarian. What the?
I mean, you guys are like some anarcho-Catholic. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, this embrace collectivism is not that fucking hard. Give me a fucking like criteria. Holy shit! I mean, is it really that fucking hard on y'all's part to do that? Is it really that fucking hard?
All of your strongest physical evidence that you have, that is my criteria.
Which is what? Like what? Give me a
I don't know what evidence you have.
Oh my god.
You have to show it to us.
Give me a fucking hypothetical. Maybe I can give you something analogous to that, okay? Give me a fucking hypothetical.
Physical evidence.
Like what?
And
the bones of Jesus Christ? Guess
Yes.
what? That were just for
Yeah, show me the bones
Christianity.
of Jesus. Can you do that? Can you show me the bones of Jesus?
Christianity. You guys are fucking retarded. You guys don't know anything about theology. That's just the truth.
yeah, I don't. I just
You
want.
don't. You
evidence.
don't. You guys don't know anything about philosophy, theology, metaphysics. You guys don't know anything about that. You focus on
you want to go there?
materialism. It's
Okay,
fucking
give me
obvious.
the floor. Give me the floor. Okay, fine. Demonstrate that a god is necessary. Demonstrate that a god is necessary. Not possible, not probable,
Once you guys give me your
necessary.
standard, I will demonstrate all you want.
Answer the Descartes demon.
The what?
Descartes demon. Answer the Descartes demon.
Okay, you can explain that now, Chief.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, okay, I don't know anything about philosophy, but you don't know what a Descartes demon is. Okay, so the Descartes demon goes like this.
I don't listen to liberal philosophers.
It's not a liberal philosopher.
Well, I mean,
Everything you think you know about reality right now, right?
Wait, let
So
him,
your
let him go,
religion
bro.
or
Let him
whatever.
go. Go ahead.
So, okay, so everything you know about reality, everything that you think you know is true, right? Is actually a demon deceiving you. So everything you think you know, right? Everything you believe is a lie. It's a demon on your shoulder that's constantly deceiving you. How can you know that anything is real? How
Yeah,
can you
King,
know?
how would you know anything was real after that analogy? Like, if I gave you evidence for
If
the
God
existence
is
of
real, then you would be able to
shut the fuck up
demonstrate
for 2 seconds, please.
how Descartes' demon is wrong.
But here's the thing, King. Like, if I actually said, oh, here's XYZ evidence for the existence of God and the physical reality that shows an immaterial realm, a miracle.
How would you go out and
shut
test
the fuck up, wizard. Shut the fuck up.
You have to go out
Hold on, let him
there.
go. Hold on.
No.
The fuck
Listen.
up.
No. Listen. You have to go out there into the world, right?
It's one-on-one.
No. Listen.
No.
Listen, Descartes' demon, right? You have
Stop
to.
talking.
So you
Stop
can't
talking.
trust your senses.
I let you
right?
talk. I let
No,
you talk.
listen.
I let you have the
No.
floor. Let me have the floor.
You've been talking, right?
Let
Now
me
listen
have
to
the
me.
floor for 2 seconds. This
Okay,
is 2
listen to
seconds.
me,
I'll let
right?
you
I'm
speak.
giving you a
I will-
philosophical
Alright,
analogy.
guys.
I'm giving you the philosophical.
Let's
I'm
wizard
just trying to
finish
talk.
and then ask the question, and then John, you can answer the question. Okay?
Okay, I'm giving you the philosophical, right? That you wanted. Okay, so here we go. Like the demon is deceiving you. You cannot trust your senses. So you have to go out there into the world to confirm whether or not your beliefs are correct. Okay? Where do you go? How do you determine that God is both real and necessary to exist? Right? How do you do that?
And like, here's the thing, King, is that like I would say is that like how would you determine anything is real, even through the scientific method? If you're actually your senses are like in a brain in the vat, you're in a false reality. It's the demon that's actually perverting your reality. What type of criteria can I give you that could actually possibly convince you? If any criteria could be just waved away as like schizophrenia, could be like a demonic force, or it could be just like a brain in a vat. So like, what's your fucking criteria? I think Wizard actually gave a good example of that, so give it to me, please. That's not a broad generality, okay? Give me specific.
No. This is very specific. How do you go out there and confirm?
I'm not talking. I'm not
God
talking
is
to you.
actually
I'm
real?
talking to King. I'm talking to King. How would you do that?
No, he has the floor. Wizard has the floor. Go ahead.
No,
Okay,
so
sure,
first of all,
sure.
you have to go out there and confirm whether or not it is real in the first place, right?
Based off what criteria?
What do you mean based off what criteria, right?
Yeah, but based off
so
what-
God is
how would you-
necessary,
how-
right?
how
God
would-
is
how-
real
how
and
would you
necessary.
determine it's real or not?
You have to prove the criteria. Like you have to provide
Based off of
criteria
what?
for why he is
Based off of
necessary,
what?
I'm back.
right? Because look, if his existence is primary, right? How do I know that? Well, obviously things exist, right?
How is it self-evident?
Laws of non-contradiction, right? One thing cannot exist and not exist at the same time. Right? If the demon is truly deceiving me and my senses are incorrect, right? I don't know this, right? So I go on into the world, right? And I'm seeing the world. Now I cannot trust my senses, but I can clearly see that, okay, things must exist. They cannot be not real and real at the same time. Okay? Even if the demon was deceiving. It's that simple. Okay? From that, I draw inference, right? Then I can start building somewhere. Now I have a criteria. Okay, so things exist. I'm sure of things existing. Okay? So you have to prove. Okay, so we are debating whether the God exists to begin with. You have to demonstrate, okay, why must he exist, right? What is your criteria that leads you to believe that he both must exist and is necessary?
The evidence isn't on me, it's the people that are making the claim. King is making the claim that God does not exist and that there's no actually evidence for the existence of God.
I'm not making that claim. I've never made that claim.
Ultimately, it's up to you to actually.
I never made that. Whoa, John. I never made that claim. I'm not making any claims.
Okay.
You're the only one that's making a claim.
And then actually, give me a criteria on for the existence of God from your personal perspective. How do you not know that that we're not brain in the vat? That the demon is actually not changing your perception of reality. That,
I just explained to you, right? On the matter of existence, right? Things must exist. Nothing can exist and not exist at the same time. So if I go out there and I see things exist, I can at least say that there are things that exist.
Hold on, stop, John. John, you gotta let him finish his words. All right.
Okay, I already explained to you, right? Okay, so how do you answer Descartes' demon, right? On the question of whether something exists or not, right? If I go out into the real world, right, I can say conclusively that things exist, right?
No.
What do you mean no? Can they exist and not exist at the same time?
I mean, it could be a figment of your imagination. It could be a delusion. It could be schizophrenia. It could be all sorts of different things. This is what the new atheists would say, because ultimately, guess what? If I actually saw a ghostly apparition in front of me, guess what? It just means I'm crazy. That thing doesn't actually exist. It's in my own mind.
I believe it.
So that is I think it's actually a good critique against new atheism. Guess what? Reality exists.
No. Something must exist. That's the idea, right? You have to literally draw the same.
Something exists in reality instead of metaphysical.
Then you can't exist either, right? Then the demon can't deceive you.
Well, I mean,
if that were the case, demon can't deceive you.
Really.
So apply the same thing to God. Why must God exist?
I'm not getting into that. I'm talking to King about his criteria.
You're not even talking to me anymore. I'm not even in the discussion anymore. You're talking to him.
I gave you the criteria. I'm literally giving you the criteria right now. Why must he exist?
Wait a second. Say again, Wizard.
Me?
I'm giving you the criteria. Why must he exist?
That's on me, not on you. If I'm trying to convince another person as to why the existence of God is a real thing, I mean, that is up to you to actually give me the criteria. It's not up to me. I already believe in the existence of God. I mean, I'm not trying to prove myself, my own personal opinion. You guys are trying to prove to me that my belief system is wrong at this point.
No,
that's up to you to actually.
You're making a claim that your God exists, right?
You're making a claim that doesn't.
No, I'm not.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, we're not.
Well, if that wasn't the case, then you wouldn't actually be so cagey about your own.
No.
Own standard.
You're saying that God exists. Do you believe that God exists? Yes or no?
Of course, and you believe
So
God
you're
doesn't
saying
exist.
you're making a claim,
or you have
right?
a lack.
That's a
Or you
claim.
have a oh, wait, just listen to me. Or you have a lack of belief that God doesn't exist.
Wait. Listen to me. You're saying that God exists. That's a claim, right?
And also, yours is a claim too, because guess what? A lack
I'm
of
not
belief is
making
still
a
a belief.
claim. We're not
Yes,
making
you
any
are.
claim. So if I say
Stop
I
being
don't
a
know if
fucking
God
new
exists, I'm
atheist.
saying I don't know if
Dude,
God exists.
Why are you arguing like a fucking boomer? Are you young? Are you fucking Gen Z? Are you like a millennial?
Listen
I mean,
very
let me tell you
closely,
something.
bro. You're not answering. You're avoiding the question because you don't have
Let
an
me tell you something.
answer.
Richard Dawkins
You're
is
avoiding the
fucking
answer because you don't have one.
no, dude. It's because you won't give me any criteria in the first place. You're fucking cagey with it. You refuse to answer because guess what? You don't even have a fucking real answer. You never even thought about this in the first place because you want to actually just argue over and over again and not even try to change your opinion on it. You're not open to it. It's fucking obvious. Stop being a fucking idiot. I mean, seriously, if you actually really try to actually think about metaphysics, think about immaterial reality, think about God theory, you would at least have some sort of criteria as to why I don't believe in this. Okay. And why, and what would be the limit as to how I can believe in this stuff? Half of you guys, new atheists, don't even do that. This is why I actually appreciate people like, what the hell is his name? What's that guy's name? On YouTube, that one dude. Young guy from
I don't know,
Oxford.
bro.
Oh, come on. You guys know.
Oh, I'm supposed to just snatch his just no out of
Yeah. I mean, that's your presupposition. That's what you're like. That's what you innately know in half of y'all's philosophy. But then again, you guys are new atheists. And you probably reject that guy because he actually kind of goes back to the
I don't even know
Alex
what you're
O'Connor.
talking about.
Alex O'Connor at least tries to have criteria. At least tries to engage in philosophy. You guys are literally doing arguments for 25 years ago with Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris, who are fucking cringing gay, who did it only because the Muslims actually bombed the World Trade Center. That's the real reason. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's fucking retarded. And give me a fucking real argument like Alex O'Connor would. I mean, that's just the truth.
John, I'd like to let you know, I'm not atheist.
I mean, there's weak atheism, strong atheism, and now agnosticism, all sorts of different things. I mean, like it's different. It's different things. Weak atheism and agnosticism, they're honestly kind of the same thing in a lot of ways, in my personal opinion. Whenever you say that you have a lack of belief in something, guess what? That is new atheism. Okay, it used to be atheists would have strong beliefs. They would say, yes, there is no existence. There's no credible evidence for the existence of God. Yes, these are wrong ideologies. But guess what? Richard Dawkins changed all that and ruined it for all the atheist movement. Now they're a laughing stock, and that's why most Gen Z and young people don't give a shit about them anymore. That's just the truth. I mean, that's just the truth.
Something created the universe, which then in turn created the catalyst to create the Earth. I don't believe that a guy was crucified, fucking
You're making my brain hurt, bro.
Killed, and then went, and then fucking, you know.
But here, I can respond to this by Centra. That's still not an excuse not to believe in some sort of generic deity. I'm sorry. You can believe in some sort of God theory, some sort of God man, even simulation theory. Okay, that still is a divine, religious theory in some ways, I think. But it's still not be an atheist or agnostic. You don't have to be a part of a religious group to be a theist or a deist. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. There's no fucking excuse. I mean,
all right. Guys, I'm going to bed. I hope you guys have a beautiful night. It was fun talking to y'all.
Yep.
And yeah, have a good night.
I should go to bed too.
All right, guys. That guy was making my brain hurt. Hope you guys have a beautiful night.